we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I'm not sure where to start. First of all, Charlie Kirk had a beautiful going home ceremony, a funeral, whatever you want to call it. However, there were some people outside protesting. Imagine protesting the funeral. What kind of person does that? We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, what kind of person poisons himself with Tylenol to own the conservatives, to own the orange man? Hey, orange man said don't take Tylenol, so what I'm going to do is overdose and die on Tylenol to prove him wrong. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Kamala Harris versus the LGBTQ elemental P, X, Y, and Z community because of a blurb in the book about not selecting Pete Buttigieg to be your running mate because he's gay. I don't even believe that because Tampon Tim is gayer, in my humble opinion, than Buttigieg. I think they cannot pick either one of them because of reasons. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Dallas, yet another ICE facility shooting. The first one was in Alvarado. Somebody said it's pronounced Alfredo. Tomato. Somewhere out there in Dallas, there was an ICE facility shooting. Now we have one right in the city of Dallas. Same situation, sniper, writing things on the bullets. The usual old. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Thank you, Tina, for the birthday wishes. I did turn 41 on this Monday, the 22nd. So thank y'all again for that. I got a lot of emails and calls and everything, so I appreciate y'all for that. Means a lot to me. All righty. Alvarado, there we go. Thank you, Leslie. But yeah, shout out to you guys for being here. I really appreciate y'all. Hey, man, there's a lot going on. RIP to those who died in the ICE shooting out there in Dallas. The media are so... We're going to get to the media talking about that. They're talking about, oh, this could have been a conservative because he shot the immigrants. It's like, really? So you're going to shoot into a building blind, not being able to see who you're hitting, and you were targeting the immigrants? You could have just hit an ICE agent because maybe that... logically speaking, that seems to be the objective of these people that shoot into a building like that. Why would you shoot into an ICE building to hit the migrants? You could do that on the outside. This kind of reminds me of the DC sniper. You guys remember that? I might be showing my age. A lot of y'all might be kind of young when that happened. But I'm living in Virginia, and he was kind of getting a little bit beyond the DMV. He was kind of like going into Virginia a little bit too much. I'm like, whoa now. Don't come down Hampton Road, Seven Cities. Don't come there with that nonsense. Okay, just shooting random people indiscriminate. If you wanted to be on that, you could be on that. You wouldn't shoot at an ICE facility if you're not trying to hit ICE agents. It's clear what you're doing. Plus, there was already an attack in the Dallas-Fort Worth area just a few weeks before. The same situation. Okay, people shooting from far away at ICE agents, and they couldn't see where the fire was coming from. Same old thing. It's a pattern. And at a certain point, there appears to be a big organized thing. There appears to be a nexus of information that they're all accessing and organizing to do these things. And if it's not, I can't tell. That's what it appears to be to me. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. And again, Charlie Kirk's funeral was great. A lot of great things were said. It was a great show of, I don't want to say force, but it was a great show of who we are as conservatives. While the left would like to riot, tear things up, I don't even want to call it rioting. There's got to be a different word. While they want to tear a nation apart, while they want to engage in a civil war, when they want to just become enemy combatants of the state, when they want to become enemies of the state and just tear things up, they do that after someone that they think is important gets hurt or is killed. But when one of ours meets that unfortunate fate, meets that unfortunate end, we come together and it's all about praise and worship. It's all about praise and worship. They don't want to show that. Your mainstream media stations may have covered the funeral, but did they cover the praise and worship portion in the beginning? Probably not. That's not really a big deal. It's not necessary, all this, that, and the third. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that we were able to show just who we are. Peaceful people that want the best for the country. We're not violent. We're not hateful. We're not evil. We're not racist. It's just as simple as that. So shout out to everybody who's at the funeral. And also shout out to Trump being over there at the UN. What was that? In New York? I'm not sure where that was. But that was a dumpster fire of epic proportions. I mean, listen, whoever was behind the escalator and the teleprompter, man, need to get locked up. I'm playing halfway, but I'm not playing. Because at a certain point, it's like, what are we doing? What if somebody stopped the escalator as soon as they got on to trip them up? Because if the escalator is moving and you step on it and then all of a sudden cuts off as you're stepping on it, that can cause you to fall. Now, luckily, Melania was holding on to both of the railings, so she was stable. And Melania is much younger than Trump, so she has more of a core stability. I'm glad also that she was in front of Trump, because if Trump was in front, he could have fallen back and then fell on her. So, yeah, whoever did that, man, y'all need to go to get some kind of punishment beyond just the regular, because, see, you're trying to hurt people. The intent behind that, I would say launch an investigation to see what happened with that, because that could have been the intention could have been to hurt Melania and or Trump. And we cannot have that in this country. If you're going to do stuff like that, even if it's not to the president, whoever it is against, you need to be held accountable for your actions, because when you're not held accountable, you feel like you could do it over and over and over again. But that's not really the case. You think it was done on purpose, Tuck? I think I agree with you, boss. I think I most certainly agree with you. TJ says, I missed the rapture, y'all. I was, but I got left behind. Yeah, I heard about that. It's supposed to be on the 23rd. The rapture was coming on the 23rd. There's always some kind of grand announcement about the rapture or this or that, some kind of thing happening, some kind of crazy thing happening, and it never comes to fruition. Never, ever comes to fruition. So I'm just like, whenever I hear something like that, oh, but it's going to be a big, don't tell me nothing until it happens. If it don't happen, they don't tell me nothing. Okay, I'm not trying to hear it. And the Tylenol people, I mean, good grief. Tylenol, really? Listen, why would you take Tylenol if you're not even feeling sick? I'm seeing videos of women taking Tylenol for no good reason. You're not even having any kind of issues. Why would you take Tylenol? And then people are getting mixed messages. The message you got from Trump is a correct message. If you're pregnant, don't take it. I mean, you could take it if you absolutely have to, but if you're not cracking the 105 temperature, leave it alone, because the risks are not worth the reward. Furthermore, I've not had a Tylenol since I don't know when. I've not had Tylenol in my house at all since, I want to say it's been at least 15, 20 years. Maybe not 20 years. Probably about 15. Maybe I was in my early 20s. Probably like maybe about 24, 25. So we're getting close to 20 years and I had Tylenol. I don't have no Tylenol. I don't have any kind of medication in my house at all. None. Zero. The most time I have is cough drops, because I talk a lot and sometimes my throat get a little bit sore. But that's it. I don't have Tylenol. I don't have aspirin. I don't have anything like that in my house. And it's been like that for many years. I'm not just doing that because Trump said to not do it. I'm doing that because I'm a health nut anyway. I'm a physically fit person. I'm an active person. I like to take care of my body. My body's my temple. So I don't pollute it with drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. And drugs include over-the-counter medication like aspirin, Tylenol, etc. If you take these drugs, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm just saying what I do. So when Trump said that about Tylenol, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. It is a drug. People get to taking drugs and act like they're not drugs, which is why somebody allegedly overdosed on Tylenol trying to prove Trump wrong. We'll get to that video in a minute. But people don't really realize they're taking the drug. You can't just pop them. It's not like you're taking Flintstones vitamins. This is a real drug with an active ingredient that can be harmful to you. Aspirin, Tylenol, all of that. Yeah, and remember back in the day they had BC powder? Heard a story about BC powder, and they said there was a guy who took it, I think, twice a day for some years. Like before work and after work. He had a hard job, body hurting, whatever. He took BC powder before work and after work. And ultimately, after years of taking it, he developed stomach ulcers, like really bad stomach ulcers. If you overdose on Tylenol, you can die. And it's going to be a slow and painful death. It'll take you a week to die. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to take drugs, please be careful, even if it's over the counter. Just because you went to Rite Aid, Walmart, or Target to get it does not mean it's totally safe. There's still an issue. There's still some risks. Oh, and then something else. The people talking about Trump cannot pronounce acetaminophen. Most people don't even know what that is, let alone know how to pronounce it. Paracetamol, acetaminophen, methamphetamines. These words are not things people can say. That's why they don't say acetaminophen, they say Tylenol. That's why they don't say methamphetamine, they say meth. Because these words are not that easy to pronounce. But that same person who wants to talk about Trump not pronouncing acetaminophen correctly will also say that a man can give birth to a baby. Make that make sense. Say, you know what, RFK, you're so off base. You're so right-wing MAGA extremist. You got worms in your brain, all this, that, and the third. But I am so smart. I am so big-brained. I think this big 6'3" hairy back dude can just give birth to a baby. It'll never happen, ever, ever, ever. Okay, XX or XY, it's just that simple. And if you got something else, I don't know what to tell you. You better talk to the alien people, the space people, and try to figure out what you got going on. All right, but meanwhile, regular Americans, regular human beings, regular earthlings, regular humans have XX or XY. You got something else that's a rarity, whatever. I'm talking about the 99.999% of us. And if you're XY, you cannot have a baby. You cannot birth a baby. That's not your role. Your role is to fertilize the egg that the woman has, and the woman gives birth to the baby. There's no other way around it. You could do artificial insemination. You're just artificially doing what humans can do naturally. That's all you're doing. You're circumventing the natural process, or if the natural process is not working, you're replicating it so it will work. But the natural process cannot really be defeated as far as the sperm fertilizing the egg. Why am I saying this to grown adults? Shouldn't this be a thing you learn when you're in grade school? I'm talking about K through 12 public school. We learn this even in the most hoodest of the hoodest schools, because you got a book, and inside the book, it has what happens right there. You could just read it right there in the book. But nowadays, it's like, you know what? Those facts don't matter. My facts matters. My truth matters. And you know what? I identify as a mastodon. I identify as a pack of wild buffalo, an entire pack. That's why you call me they, them, right? Listen, my pronouns are they, them, because I identify as a pack of wild buffalo. The whole pack, the mama, the daddy, and the kids, and the cousins, aunties, and everybody else. That's what I identify as, and my name changes every 2 seconds. It's like, man, look, don't nobody got no time for that, man. Like, at the end of the day, boy or girl, what's your name? Bob, Ted, Steve, Jill, Jennifer. Just pick something and keep moving, man. We don't got no time for the nonsense. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, and Kamala. Listen, Kamala, I tend to feel bad for Kamala. I can't help it. I tend to feel bad for Kamala, but then I remember I go through this every single time when I think about what Kamala is dealing with the Democratic Party, how they treating her. They're treating her like she's garbage, and I can see it. Maybe she don't really understand, but I see it. Maybe she's used to it from being from California, where you get treated like garbage by people. But I see how she's being treated. I feel bad, but then I remember she signed up for this. She's been doing this for a very long time. So, hey man, you gotta just hang in there and deal with it. Maybe they got some dirt on her. Maybe they got some blackmail on their grandmama or something like this. I don't know what's going on. But you signed up for it. Oh, well, man. Take what they give you. It couldn't be me, though. I wouldn't want to be in the political party that is accusing me of being homophobic, transphobic, that is accusing me of all these negative things that I have not done. I'm not trying to defend myself consistently against my own party when I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing to the best of my ability. I would not be treated that way. But hey, you want to be over there with the Democrats? You want to be on MS-13 DNC talking to Rachel Maddow, aka Peyton Manning, aka Eli, all the Mannings, Arch Jr. If you want to be over there with them talking to them, you got to deal with it. It is what it is. It couldn't be me. It could never, ever be me. Kamala got to be drunk. Hey, something, a little bit of wine, take the edge off. A little bit of box wine never hurt nobody. She like to do that. Okay, she probably got that on her okay, you go into the Tonight Show. You know what I need? I'm going to need some of that barefoot wine straight from Walmart. Okay, I'm going to need the barefoot wine. I'm going to need some of that bum juice. Wild Irish Rose, Thunderbird, MD 2020. I'm going to need some of that in my dressing room. And if you don't have that, I can't do nothing for you. That's kind of what I envision Kamala Harris requesting to do with these people. Okay. She ain't blackmail. Hey, I can't tell. Teacher says America wasn't ready for the bathtub greens. Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, I saw the auto pen picture. That was funny. I did see the auto pen picture. Let me see if I can get that pulled up in a minute here. She was on SNL for real. Kamala Harris was on SNL. Why? Was this recently? What's the I don't know, man. Do you think they're going to try to have her run again in 28? Like, what do y'all think? Y'all think Kamala is done? Or is it just beginning? Y'all let me know. It's still reserved. Oh, man, it's still reserved. Good grief. Yeah. That's right up Kamala's alley. Hey, she the type that pour out still reserve into a wine glass. It's like, man, if you don't go ahead and just take that, hey, just take it just straight like this and just chug it. Why not? You don't put still reserve in a glass. You just Stone Cold Steve Austin and you know what I mean? Pour it on yourself. That's pretty much what you do with that. You don't. That's not a classy sippy drink. That's like throw it right on your face. All right, let me read some of the comments and then I'm gonna keep going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I think so, James. They're testing the waters right now, but it'll be Gavin. Yeah, it's Gavin. It should have been Gavin. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to help them succeed, but I'm just calling out something obvious. It should have been Gavin in 2020. But they were so desperate to get back in control and bring the migrants in their 4-year period of time, they went with Joe Biden because black folks knew him from Obama. That's the only reason why they picked him. And then when he was done, it was a big celebration for him. Like, you sacrificed so much for this country. You're really 1,000 years old. You had no business running, but you did that for us. That's what that was. That's exactly what that was. Okay, the media, it was funny when Biden was leaving. You could tell he was real old. They had these sappy pictures. They had this dope fiend son in the back, jaw looking like Destiny. Look, if you're watching any of the recent Hunter Biden, if you're watching any of the recent Hunter Biden interviews of the podcast with the guy in the garage, this random guy from nowhere, who knows, CIA asset, whoever he is, if you're watching the Hunter Biden interviews, you can see his jaw move just like Destiny, because that's what drug addicts, specifically people that's on cocaine methamphetamine, they do that with their jaw. Grinding their teeth, moving their jaw like a typewriter, like a corn on the cob, like that's what they do. So you'll see that. If you are listening to anyone talk and you can see their face and you see that jaw activity, have that thought in the back of your mind when you're watching this live. You know what? ABL said to look out for that jaw. And I am seeing the jaw looking kind of, it's a little bit off center. Okay. Normally when you talk, your jaw go like this, up and down. It don't normally go like that. It don't normally go like that. If you got that going on, something's wrong. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. It's a telltale sign that whatever this person is saying, you probably shouldn't take that serious. I don't trust nothing that somebody who smoked crack tell me. But anyway, we got a lot going on. Shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best. All right, the comments are being screened. I have nothing to do with that, boss. I have nothing to do with the comments being screened. I'm hands off. It's all good. You know, maybe Google. Sometimes, hey, we've seen Google come in here and censor certain comments, and there's nothing I could do about that because we on their platform. So if they come in here and censor, if they come in here and just do the censorship. And speaking of censorship, Jimmy Kimmel came back. Did you guys see his little tearful apology? I don't only want to get too far into it. We got a lot to get into tonight, but shout out to you guys again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But also shout out to the sponsors. You guys, of course, for watching the video, keeping the show on, keeping the lights on. You guys are the best. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the description, or you could just go to patriotpost.us in your browser, tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Again, ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. We have articles for each long form video that I produce. And in each article, I got sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, the political agnostic, local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it right there on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All my links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, you're probably not, especially if, number one, it's not from my email address. My email is very easy, contact@anthonyblogan.com. If you cannot remember that, it's always on the contact page of the website. That's the first clue. If it's come from an 18-digit WhatsApp number or something crazy like that, it's not me. But beyond that, if the comment is in the YouTube comment and the person has my name and my picture, it looks kind of suspicious, it's just not me. So don't fall for it. Don't give all your worldly possessions to some Nigerian prince or to some Ukrainian autocrat, some Eastern European hairy chest wife beater wearing type character. Don't give all your money to these people, okay? Because it's just not me. I don't want you to get scammed. Now, let's start with one thing here. So, in the White House, you have the Presidential Wall of Fame. I guess it's a new thing they put up. Okay, it appears to be in an outside part of the White House. Okay, and we're going to see what they did here. Do we have sound on this? Okay, no sound, but you can see the pictures. Right here, I see Reagan, I see Jimmy Carter, I see quite a few people. I see Nixon. I'm seeing quite a few people. I see LBJ, Kennedy. Okay, then we're going to go, of course, that's W, Slick Willie. Well, that was HW. They go W. They go Barry O. They go Trump number one, and then what's this? what's this? After Trump number one should be Joe Biden, right? This appears to be a picture of the auto pen. Now, I got a question for y'all. Is that the way the auto pen looks? I was thinking more like some electronic documents type stuff. You know it is like a DocuSign where you could just push the button and it'll sign it for you. I'm thinking it's like that. Is it really like a mechanical device that draws your signature for you? Let me know, please. But that is the auto pen right there for Joe Biden's picture. And then we got Trump number two with the more menacing look. Like, hey, you know what? Y'all trying to take us out of here. Y'all trying to dim the light that the MAGA has brought to the country. It's not going to happen in the second picture. But shout out to the auto pen. All right. Shout out to the auto pen. There we go. That is the president's new wall of fame. All the previous presidents. All right. There we go. So yeah, shout out to Trump for that. Shout out to the orange man. There we go. Good, nice, good close up. Joseph Robinette Biden. All right. So that was one thing. Now let's go to this whole thing with the UN. Okay. So now, as Trump was going up the escalator, hold on, we got some sound here. Let me get a little bit of sound. So as Trump was going up the escalator with Melania, all of a sudden the escalator stops. Let me just show you what happened here.
You're going to push Zelensky for peace, President Trump.
President Trump. Schumer.
So look, you making the president almost 80 years old. How old is Trump? Trump got to be 80 right now. Hold on. Trump is 79. He'll be 80 next year, June 14th. He was born June 14th, 1946. You making an almost 80-year-old man walk up the escalator because you turn it off. Why would you do that? Like, what is the, and then you can see how Melania jerked back right there. She could have easily fallen. So what kind of games are we playing here? And then if Trump just stays there and doesn't do anything, then it's like, oh, he can't walk up a flight of stairs, all this, that, and the third. Now, had that been Joe Biden, first of all, he would have fallen on the ground. If that had been Joe Biden, he would have been boots up in the air. We would have seen straight horseshoes in our face. Okay, we would have seen laces, socks, shoes, the bottom of him and his pants. We would have seen all of that up in the air, but not Trump. He says, you know what? I'm going to just walk up the actual escalator. If someone did that on purpose, which they probably did do it on purpose, they need to be held accountable because you cannot do stuff like that. Because Melania could have easily fallen or Trump could have fallen. Okay, so he addressed it at the UN, the whole escalator, and also the teleprompter was down. Even though there was no teleprompter, he still spoke for about an hour. Even though there was no escalator, he still walked up the steps. They got to just at a certain point realize there's nothing you could do. Y'all tried to shoot him, tried to lock him up, you tried to embarrass him, you tried to lie on him, you tried to spy on him, you tried to do everything possible to rid yourself of this man, but he's not going anywhere. So at a certain point, you got to give up.
Ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. I ended 7.
Look, man, like I said, and shout out to you guys who were on my stream last night on the Instagram, had a great time. Well, like I was saying there, if it's me and I'm Trump talking to the UN After they do all that, I'd be like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Y'all want to play like that? Well, we're not going to fund you anymore. How about that? Y'all can just fund your own UN. And if you're overtaken by Russia, then so be it. So be it. Because y'all trying to play games like that. All right. And really, all jokes aside, what they should do is at least investigate, because that could be a big security risk right there. Like if there was a plan to do that, and I was seeing some things on social media where somebody said that they might have been, but I don't know if that's true or false. So they do an investigation and they figure out that this was a plan, then they got to go. Now, there was a few things said at the UN General Assembly speech, a few things said during the speech, but here's one thing about European heritage just going away.
Braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. And I'm telling you that if you don't get away from the green energy scam, your country is going to fail. And if you don't stop people that you've never seen before, that you have nothing in common with, your country is going to fail. I'm the president of the United States, but I worry about Europe. I love Europe. I love the people of Europe. And I hate to see it being devastated by energy and immigration. This double-tailed monster destroys everything in its wake, and they cannot let that happen any longer. You're doing it because you want to be nice. You want to be politically correct, and you're destroying your heritage. They must take control strongly and immediately of the unmitigated immigration disaster and the fake energy, braggadocious way.
So there we go. Again, this is going to be Trump at the UN General Assembly talking about Europe and their cultures just going away. The problem with Europe is the same problem with a lot of these so-called first world places. Okay, it's the low birth rate. That's the bottom line. Europeans, you're talking about like what, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, real low. USA, same thing, not quite as low, but still below replacement, which is 2.1. I think the USA we're like at about what, 1.6? What's the birth rate in the USA? 1.6, 1.62. And I know Europe is not just one country, but the European Union, although not all European countries are in the EU, most of them are. So in the EU, there's a 1.38 birth rate. If you want to keep your society kind of like first world in the way it is, in order to make everything function the right way, you got to have a certain number of people. So I don't know what they can do to increase the birth rate, but that should be their focus. If they don't want the migrants, they got to increase the birth rate. And if they're going to bring in the migrants, they got to be honest about it, because what happens in a lot of these European places, they say they complain about the migrants, but they usher the migrants in. I saw a video where there was a bunch of these migrants washing across the shore. I believe it was in Italy. Might have been, somewhere, Sicily, somewhere like this, somewhere in the South. But tourists were on the beach. Here comes a whole boat full of migrants just washing upon the shore. After the boat was empty, there was an escort taking the boat off of the shore. So it was a thing that was done on purpose. If you want to have migrants because you got a low birth rate, you need to have a more comprehensive way of doing it and not just allowing anybody to come in, because that's where you have a lack of cultural cohesion. That's where there's a danger. That's where there's all kind of other problems that come as a result of all them people coming in. It really shouldn't be that difficult, but that's just what's happening. All right, now, Charlie Kirk's funeral. Of course, we got rooftop snipers who are there to defend us, just so we don't have any more crazy people to try to do something to us. We don't have anybody crazy trying to attack. Nah, we got tight security.
USA!
So yeah, shout out to the security out there at Charlie Kirk's funeral out there in Arizona. Okay, but of course you're gonna have some haters. You got to have some haters. That's part of it. Okay. So this is a protester outside of Charlie Kirk's funeral.
Period. She said, oh my God, that was so tough. I can't believe she just said that.
Oh, I fucking want it. You know what? Talk to
I can't believe she just said that to that girl. Oh, she right here still.
Look how proud you are. You got that little girl crying. She's telling that lady she
That was so bad. But that was so bad, though.
So if you didn't hear what she said, I hope your baby dies. Pregnant woman, she said that to her. Because why? And what does this sign say? It says it should be public, it should be quick, rotten hell, it should be televised. And the sign has like blood drawn on it. Just really gross people. And things like this, you know, incidents like this, it just shows how people are. It shows them how they are. But you know what? One thing about it, there's no violence here. It's just one guy using his freedom of speech, getting a little bit spirited, but no violence and nobody getting beat up. It's okay. Okay. You know, you got some trash on the ground, but that's always the case after events like this.
What the hell? What the helly?
Yeah, after events like that, there's always trash on the ground. If you got, I think it might have been 100,000 people in one place, it's going to be like that. You know, it's just, it is what it is. A lot of that is because ain't nowhere to put all that rubbish for all those people. You know, I could have gone to that, but I don't know. Places like that, it just be a little bit too much. It'd be a little bit too much. And it's a funeral. I'm not really a funeral guy. But I think that it was a good thing for people to go to and to witness if they could not go. Aside from the haters outside, people inside were having a revival. And we got more. Definitely a revival. And a lot of the mainstream media networks didn't want to cover that part. They want to talk about the speeches and all the divisive stuff. What about this? What about the praise, worship, fellowship? It's crazy because some are trying to say that Christianity is somehow dangerous. Oh, it was a display of Christian nationalism. All I saw was praise and worship. But let's go ahead and check it out.
I know it's not much, nothing else. Sing it one more time. So I throw up my head, praise you again and again. All that I have is hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not.
Right on. Amazing, amazing. Now, you guys are asking who was the singer? I don't know. I think somebody said it, but I'm not sure who that was. If y'all know who the singer is, y'all let me know. But yeah, definitely. Hey, the music they played, the praise and worship, top tier, top notch. Top notch. All right, let me see. I'm trying to see if you guys, Brandon Lake is a singer. Shout out to you, Mama Ames. Brandon Lake. All right, that is the singer's name. Brandon Council. Thank you, Brandon Council. B. Gatlin says, what's wrong with Christian nationalism? Hey, I don't know what's wrong with Christian nationalism, but they say it is dangerous. You know, it's weird. It's weird. So yeah, shout out to Brandon Lake. Shout out to all the singers who were there. Shout out to everybody who was at the service. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It really was. Okay, now here is Erica Kirk. I'm going to give you what she said, and then I'm going to give you what Trump said. It might be a little bit different, but they have the same end goal of trying to save this nation, okay? And again, this is Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
There we go. So again, that's Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow. And what they got? 2 kids, I believe. Mother of his 2 children. All right. And that's a pretty difficult thing to do, to forgive somebody who do something like that. And really, the forgiveness is for you. It's for you. If you're able to forgive, then that can go a very long way. Hold on. I got to find the full version of what Trump said. I had a shorter version. Yeah, this might have to do, this might work right here. Okay. So the context is he was reading on a teleprompter about Charlie loving his opponents, but Trump does not really agree with that mantra.
His opponents, he wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Look at that. He's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles. His opponents, he wanted.
Hey, Trump, I'm with you 100% though, man. Look, I understand, because listen, one thing that this whole Charlie situation has done, it has ruined my patience. It's ruined it. I'm not really trying to, listen, either you trying to be open-minded and hear what I got to tell you, or you not. If you're not, I'm going to just go ahead and leave you be. I'm not trying to waste my breath. I ain't trying to go hoarse, lose my voice, screaming and hollering at people. I'm good. Don't worry about it. If you're not trying to hear the message, if you're not open-minded, then you can go ahead. Go over there. And that's pretty much how I feel. So, yeah. Seafoam says, Trump is like a funny, lovable grandpa. I want to meet him. I agree. Yes, indeed. It's like your grandpa that has zero filter. That's President Donald Trump. And I love it. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, not everyone likes President Trump. Not everyone thinks he is lovable, funny grandpa. We got to show Miss Big Wig herself, Jasmine Crockett. I don't like showing her that much. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? But I got to show you what is being said on television on the Sunday shows, because this is what your normie neighbor is watching. They think Jasmine Crockett is the bee's knees. Although we know that she's not, they think she is. Okay, let's watch.
The rhetoric that Charlie Kirk continuously put out there was rhetoric that specifically targeted people of color. And so it is unfortunate that even our colleagues could not see how harmful his rhetoric was specifically to us. And I can tell you that a month prior to him passing away, he had actually gotten out on his podcast. I wasn't aware of this at the time, but he got out there and he was talking negatively about me directly. So if there was any way that I was going to honor somebody who decided that they were just going to negatively talk about me and proclaim that I was somehow involved in the great white replacement, yeah, I'm not honoring that kind of stuff. The rhetoric.
All right, there we go. So that's what you got on your mainstream media networks, your Sunday shows. You got that. Now, you know, the funny part about Jasmine Crockett, some think that she has a political future, but she doesn't. What she is, she's like the Real Housewives of Atlanta type of person, not to be taken seriously as a political candidate or a real political person. Not at all. A Corinne Jean-Pierre, I would take seriously, although I wouldn't agree with her. I take her seriously. Even the Big Mike, Michelle Obama, I would take seriously, although I wouldn't agree with her at all. But Jasmine Crockett, no. Big Mike, politician. Corinne Jean-Pierre, politician. Jasmine Crockett, Real Housewives of Atlanta at best. Not even Atlanta. Real Housewives of Oklahoma City. Something like this. Truck stop. I almost said something, but it's a family show. But if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Jasmine Crockett has no political future. She's just good for social media clicks because the things that she say get attention. Now, we have an ex-leftist talking about the memorial, okay? Aside from what they want to say on mainstream media, calling them a Nazi, calling them a racist, saying he has dangerous rhetoric, some people who would follow that line of thinking are not following it anymore, and they're giving a testimony on the internet. Let's go ahead and check it out. You get it on the screen, and Bernard says, I'm a tether. Man, y'all got to look, man. Y'all got to learn more than one word. Okay, learn how to read and learn more than one word. Tweeting the sheet then taught y'all one word and you running with it. It's like when you're 5 years old and you're learning something and you want to say that same word over and over again. Your mama get sick of you. All right, now, boy, go and do something. I know I'm expeditious in my action. I done heard it for the 15th time. Learn a new word. Tether. What does that mean? I'm gonna just say this. Listen, I'm 100% Black American. I have traced my family on both sides all the way back to the boat. Virginia, the first Virginia where the slaves first came before it became West Virginia. I've been here since the beginning. Tether. And you know what? People that say that stuff, that tether stuff, a lot of them be looking like Malcolm X. Light-skinned dude with red hair. It's like, if you don't tell your Irish granddaddy to get you to calm down, okay, I'm done. I'm finished. Let's go to the testimony of someone who was a leftist and is now seeing the light.
This is my biggest takeaway from the Charlie Kirk Memorial. Call to unity, not with the woke left, but between men and women. When Erica Kirk said that men lead in order to serve, that felt like the biggest confirmation of what I've been yearning for. What she didn't say, what I'll add, is that women receive so that they can serve. There's so much division between the sexes. Men don't feel appreciated or respected or purposeful. Women don't feel cherished, loved, or protected. That is one of the biggest causes of nihilism in this country. As a young single woman in the beautiful state of Arizona, Charlie Kirk's legacy is going to be one of covenant, sacred covenant between a male and a female who come together to serve each other through love and devotion in order to raise a strong family, to raise the next generation. Please keep spreading this message. If it felt confirmational to you of what you want on your life path or what you want to achieve, follow that dream. Say yes to that courage. God bless.
Wow, very good. Very, very good. I agree with you 100%. See, the gender war is because we're we're not on the same page. We're not realizing our purpose on earth. We're not realizing it. We're not doing the right thing. So there's conflict when we're not fulfilling our purpose. When we're not doing what we should be doing, when we're doing other things, that's where the conflict comes from. So I'm glad she was able to glean that from the Charlie Kirk service. I'm glad she was able to receive that message from Erica Kirk. And that is, again, a big piece of this whole situation. People are starting to realize what they thought previously was untrue, what they had been taught previously was untrue, and they're seeing the light. So although I'm sad that Charlie's gone, I'm glad people are being able to get something from this tragedy. So shout out to her. Big shout out. Okay, we have another person. Registered Democrat voter is finally seeing indoctrination taking place after her 11-year-old daughter came home from school saying, "I hate Charlie Kirk." Okay, so the daughter goes to school. She's 11 years old. Her friends are saying things, and of course, they're 11. They're going to take in everything. They're like a sponge. So now she hates Charlie Kirk because of what she's been exposed to at school. Let's watch some of this. Okay, let's watch some of this.
This was my turning point. When Charlie first died, when I first found out, I was upset. I didn't follow Charlie, but I would see his, videos online all the time, and I would think, wow, this guy, I don't know if I agree with everything he says because I didn't follow him like that. But this guy has like this open dialogue. It's very refreshing. I never saw it, and I respected him for that. Now, I'm a registered Democrat, but for the last 3 elections, and before that even, I don't vote for party. I vote for whoever I think is going to be the best and whoever we need. Having said that, I have realized that I do lean more on the conservative side now. But the one thing that really brought it home for me, the day Charlie died, my daughter came home from school. She's 11 years old. We live in Jersey, in Hudson County. It's a very Democratic, liberal area. And, my daughter goes to school. They're in 6th grade. These children have a lot to say about Trump supporters. And my daughter, from peer pressure and whatever, has felt weird that I'm a Trump supporter. And when I asked her when she got home if she knew who Charlie Kirk was and what happened, she turned to me and said, "Yeah, I hate that guy." And that was my turning point.
That's crazy. That's totally crazy. But see, your kids are being told certain things. They're being exposed to certain things you may not be aware of. You have no idea, especially when that phone get in the mix. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And then they go into school. They got friends. You never know what they're seeing. You never know what they're being told. I mean, it might not be the phone directly that they're in front of, but if her friends, they on their phone looking at stuff, they're being told things. If their friends got parents that are into certain things, they are going to be told certain things by their parents, and the kids are going to tell your kids. And now that's how that goes. Now you got to go do some deprogramming to figure out what's really happening.
We never spoke about Charlie in this house. We never even, I don't even know if she's ever seen his stuff. And I'm really getting sick of people quoting him and then me having to go and find the transcript of that specific quote and send it to them.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is. People just want to, I think at a certain point you got kids especially, you got to debrief them. When they go out to school, they go out hanging out with friends, you got to tell them the reality of what's happening. Be very honest and be very straightforward, because they're going to get the information one way or another, whether it's from you telling them the truth or them telling them a lie. You got to make sure you're telling them the actual truth at all times. Okay. Another man who is realizing that what he had been told about Charlie Kirk was a lie. All right, let me throw it on the screen right here. And shout out to you guys for rocking and rolling with me. If you like what you're hearing so far, get a video a thumbs up from me.
Hey, good morning. The more and more I watch Charlie Kirk's videos, the more disgusted I am with the nation. The more and more I'm disgusted with the side that's cheering his death. Because I'm looking for him being racist clips. I'm looking for him being misogynist clips. And you know what I come to realize is that there are a bunch of fucking idiots out there preaching shit that they don't know nothing about. We are surrounded by people that claim to be intelligent, emotional intelligent. I was disappointed before because of the cheering, but now I find out that somebody assassinated a good man, and all these fucking retards cheered en masse. I don't give a fuck anymore. He was trying to be fucking oh my God, he was so intelligent. And the way he broke down, you made me watch Charlie Kirk. You said he was a racist. I want to see how racist he got. He wasn't fucking racist. I agree with him on a bunch of shit. No, I said, you want to shoot me in the neck too? Bro, I'm telling you, if you see me in public, don't try no goofy shit. If I feel like that, and I wasn't a fan, I never watched it. You saw my video went viral. It had like fucking 5 million views and shit. It went around social media. It was even on the clips. I did not agree with him because I thought he was racist. Because I heard the echo chamber say that he was racist. So I went, oh yeah, he's racist. I don't fuck with him. And then, even then, I was just like, he don't need to die. But now that I'm watching his clips in full context, I'm like, oh my God, I'm friends with the devil. These niggas are stupid as fuck.
Exactly. So, sorry for the cussing, but he's right on point. Listen, I was the same way when I was young because I was told, hey, don't listen to Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh's racist. And I just accepted it. I never even heard him for myself at all, ever. I just assumed that he was racist because that's what I always have been told. But as I started to become a man, started to grow up, I was like, hey, you know what? How about I listen to Rush Limbaugh to see what he has to say? Let me hear it for myself because I don't want to just assume somebody is one way without actually hearing them, without actually communicating or, reading what they're about. So I listened to Rush Limbaugh. I'm waiting to disagree with him, and I just didn't. And then it became like an everyday thing. I'm listening to Rush. I was like, okay, well, what he's saying right here, there's nothing that doesn't make sense. It all makes sense to me. And I believe he's feeling the same exact way about Charlie Kirk. He was always told that Charlie's a racist. He was always told that Charlie is a bad guy and he hates black people, but he never actually heard him. He just believed it. But when he finally goes to watch Charlie, to listen to Charlie and hear what he says, he doesn't disagree. You're realizing the people that are around you telling you that are not the ones who could be, and not the ones who should be around you at all. So yeah, shout out to him. I feel the same way, bro. Listen, I'm right there with you, boss. I was the same way, believing what I was told without doing any kind of research. That's why I'll tell everybody, look, don't believe me. You don't got to believe me in what I say. Do your own research and figure it out for yourself. I tell everybody that. Don't believe anybody in what they say. Do your own research. Another guy saying the same thing, and he's had a few videos talking about this, being awakened from actually watching Charlie and not just believing whatever anybody says.
Was anybody else initially watching Charlie Kirk's memorial service on ABC, and they was just doing a whole bunch of talking, and I'm thinking it ain't started yet, you know what I mean? They just getting everything set up or whatever. And then I go to Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel, and they're in an entire praise and worship segment. Like, whole time it's going on. Like, whole time praise and worship is going on. Big old arena, everybody praising Jesus. But ABC ain't got it on at all. ABC is doing their own segment, talking about God knows what. Whole time they praising Jesus, and it makes sense, of course. Of course y'all weren't airing that. Of course. Praise and worship going on. Exactly what Charlie Kirk wanted. 100,000 people coming together to celebrate Jesus. And of course, ABC is talking about everything else but what's going on. I had no idea it was on. I'm sitting there waiting. Somebody had to tell me, nah, bro, like a concert is going on right now. Like they praise and worship right now. That's crazy.
See, to your mainstream media, religion, Christianity to be specific, it's not to be highlighted, it's not to be platformed. They want to totally ignore that. All they want to do is show the speeches. They want to show Trump and they want to show this person and that person. They're trying to they want to get a soundbite, some clickbait, and they want to push a narrative. So showing the praise and worship is going to go against that. That's not going to help them with their narrative, so they're going to totally omit it. And I think guys like this and many others out there, young guys especially, they're starting to see how the mainstream media works. They're starting to see how they lie outright by giving a straight up false statement, or they lie by omission when there's a praise and worship service happening and they don't even show it. They talk over it as if what's happening is not important. See, that's all part of the deception that comes from the left, the mainstream media, which the same thing. Your politicals on the left, your mainstream media is all tied together. It's no difference. So yeah, shout out to him. That's crazy how they just didn't even show that on the regular stations. You had to go to the YouTube and all of that to see the real thing that was going on. Okay. Now we got an LGBTQ conservative guy who is, transitioning not from male to female or female to male, but from left to right. Okay. 21 years old, young dude. Okay. Let's go ahead and check this out right quick.
I truly believe that joining the conservative movement is one of the most liberating decisions you can ever make. You just become happier, you stop caring for people's opinions, you don't get easily offended, and the people here are so diverse and accepting, and it's hard to see the diversity unless you venture out to look for it because the media hides it so well. I left the left because you couldn't disagree or break the mold without being labeled hateful or racist or sexist, homophobic. Like, it was so tiring. On the right, you can disagree and have open discussion and move past things even if you disagree, because people are mentally stable and don't think the world revolves around them. And that was one of the biggest things that irked me on the left. The list goes on of the benefits. People are more faithful here. You're smarter, you're prettier. Like, I would rather go deaf and blind for the rest of my life than ever vote blue again. And I am so serious. Yeah, thank you. I truly believe.
Hey, right on, young man. And you know what? I don't care about you being LGBT or whatever. As long as you just act right and do right, your personal bedroom business ain't my business. As long as you act right and do right. As long as you're not trying to push LGBT indoctrination on the children. Hey, man, do whatever you do. That's your business. And I'm glad you can realize what side has the most sane people, the most mentally intact people, and people that look the best. Because listen, conservatives, we gonna look the best because we take care of ourselves. We don't engage in a lot of the behavior that has us looking crazy. Okay, we're not gonna be smoking crack like Hunter Biden. We're not gonna do certain things that have us looking crazy out on the streets. So I'm glad you're able to realize that. Okay, people think that conservatives hate gays. It ain't like that. I mean, not for me. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do. And really, I didn't see so much in my life. I feel like I've seen too much. And what I've seen in my life, my personal experiences have led me to believe that somebody being gay ain't really no big deal. For real. I'm going to just say that. It's not really, there's other things that's worse than that. You being gay is not even really a thing anymore. What I have a problem with are the transformers that want to go into women's locker rooms or shoot up ICE facilities or commit crime, terrorists, the Trantifa. That's my issue. A regular gay dude just being girly, who cares? That's not really a thing that concerns me every day. It's not my lifestyle, but if it's yours, go ahead and knock yourself out. Now, we got some Trump supporters over in the UK, and they black. And they black. Let's go ahead and watch.
Trump have done more for black people than any other president in history of America.
I like Trump because I have taken the time to listen to him. I'm not just listening to the fake news.
I see what he does. I see he's genuine.
Yes.
Also, before he ran for president, he was loved by everybody. And all of a sudden, because he wants to be a president, and people don't want him to be a president, he's suddenly a racist when he's not a racist.
Thank you very much. What do people in the black community, which is a very generalized term, but like, do people agree with you? Do your friends and family agree?
Yeah, they love Trump. They love Trump. All of our black community love Trump.
I would say there's some black people who just hate white people anyway, generally.
Trump have done more.
Right on point. So they're over in UK, black Trump supporters, and they're saying really a lot of us love Trump, and there's just general issues of racism. If a black person hates Trump, they probably hate whites, or they probably hate conservatives in general. And if you ask them why, they're not gonna have a good reason. Their reason might be something like, oh, well, abortion and the same old stuff you hear from the news. They're gonna repeat whatever they see on TV. Because they're not very well educated. They don't know a lot. That's where that comes from, my humble opinion. When people say they just hate Trump and you ask them and there's not much they can say, that points to lack of information and lack of information and miseducation. That's the bottom line. If you're really informed and you understand what's going on, you're not going to be a Trump hater, in my humble opinion. Okay? That's kind of the way that goes. Yeah, I saw the head. What it say? Trump was right about everything. Yes, indeed. Hold on. Let's see if I can get that more in the picture. Well, you can kind of see it right there. Trump was right about everything. And then the shirt, Trump was right about everything. Okay, get the full gear. I love it. Over in UK with it. Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, the conservative movement here in the USA is not just here in the USA. A lot of you guys are not just in the USA. You guys are all over the world, all over everywhere. Shout out to you guys. I said it before. I looked at my Instagram analytics and I'm able to see my top 5 countries people watch me from. And the top 4 are pretty predictable. I think it was USA, of course, number 1 at like 86%. Then it was UK, Canada, maybe Australia was in there. But number 5 was Nigeria. Okay, Nigerians coming up. All right, they are coming up. They're watching my content. They're enjoying it. So shout out to everybody all over the world watching this. What's happening here is not just here. It's all over the whole US of A. All right, now, some of y'all were asking me yesterday on my Instagram stream about this event at TSU, Tennessee State University, HBCU. And there were some white guys that had got kind of assaulted and kicked out. I have something to say about that. Let me just show what went on, and then I'm going to give my 2 cents on it. I'll put it to you this way. This was preventable, 100% preventable. Okay, there's blame on both sides here, and I'm going to explain to you why, and it will make sense. But let's just watch what happened. Oh, in context. So these guys, what's their name? Fearless Debates, this guy named Cam Higbee. What they did was set up a table, like how Stephen Carter would do back in the day, like to ask me anything. And I'm going to show you the table in a minute. But they set up a table. Matter of fact, hold on. I got to show you the table first. They set up a table, and people came out, and then there was a problem. There was a little bit of chaos that ensued. Okay, hold on. Let me show you the table first, and then I'm going to show you what happened. Okay, so these are the guys right here at TSU. That's the HBCU. That's in Nashville. I've been there before. It's kind of out the way. You have to go there. You have to be kind of trying to find that. But anyway, their table, basic little folding white table from Wally World, a camera. I got that same camera, like a Sony Alpha or a Canon. That's like a Canon right there. That camera right there. Microphone, and then their signs say DEI should be illegal. And then they have their social media profiles. And then the other one says, deport all illegals now. Let's talk. All right. So they pull up to TSU like that, and they're trying to get people to come to them and ask them and talk to them or whatever. Now, I'm going to just say what I think they did wrong. They did not call the school ahead of time and set this up properly. They just put up a table right there, and we're trying to get people to come talk to them. To me, it comes off like TikTok content farming. If you want to have a real discussion, make sure you get things squared away before you go there. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like early Turning Point, maybe Steven Crowder, just kind of being, they're trying to use guerrilla tactics, just going out there and doing stuff. It's like when you shoot a music video without getting a permit. You can do that, but it's not the best idea because you can get in trouble. And in this instance, when you don't set the event up beforehand, like Turning Point does all the time, you run the risk of having some security issues because the police and the school are not prepared for you to come. Does it make any sense? So let me just go ahead and go to the next thing here. This is going to be the reaction after they had the table set up.
They threw a drink up top.
Oh my gosh, they threw a drink up top.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Did somebody just throw something in our car?
Arrest. They just tried to hit the car. They're still hitting the car. Whoa! That was loud.
All right, so that's that. And here's a statement from TSU. Basically said the same thing that I said. It says, today a group of individuals unaffiliated with Tennessee State University appeared on campus without prior notice in accordance with university policy. Any demonstration or protest activity requires advance approval and permitting. Campus police and staff responded promptly, and the individuals were escorted from university grounds without incident. At all times, TSU students conducted themselves in a professional and respectful manner. I don't know about that part, TSU. I don't know about that because I was seeing some things that didn't look very professional. The safety and well-being of our students, faculty, and staff remain our highest priority. TSU will continue to uphold the university policy and ensure that campus remains a safe, welcoming, and orderly environment for all members of our community. So that's the TSU statement. Again, that's a black college out there in Nashville. And for you guys who don't know about black colleges, you don't have to be black to go to a black college. It just means that it is historically black. Because at one point, just a little bit of history lesson, at one point, HBCUs were created by the federal government or with the federal government's help, many times, usually, after slavery was over because you had a group of untrained, uneducated people that needed education and training. So that's why these colleges are brought up. That's why they were created. Okay, that's kind of how that went. And after integration was over, people still were alumni. Their grandfather went there, their father went there. Like, take me for example, okay. My grandfather went to West Virginia State University, which was at one point a black college. My dad went there too, and they wanted me to go there. But I was first generation out of West Virginia. So I'm really like more of a Norfolk, Virginia Beach guy. I'm not really a West Virginia guy as much as they were. So I didn't go there. But if I was living in West Virginia, I would have gone there too, because you got the lineage. You see what I'm saying? And if you got a bunch of people that were black who had to go there because of segregation, that lineage will be there among them. So they want you to go where they went. Anyway, but that's kind of how that goes. There's also PWIs. That's predominantly white institutions. It's the same thing. No difference. At one point, it was all white because it had to be, and they wanted it to be. After integration, it remained pretty much the same way because of alumni and the culture and the region. And it's fine. It's okay. Okay, let's keep on going. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. King says, history with ABL. I got to, man, because I see comments. I'm like, okay, I got to teach here. Okay, I got to teach. HBCUs are not racist. They were created because they had to be created because it was illegal to educate slaves during slavery. So when slavery ended, you got a bunch of uneducated people, and it's still like that to this day. People that have they don't know anything. They know nothing. A lot of the community, if you ask them certain things about politics and just basic functions of society, they don't know because they've not been educated properly. And in a lot of these schools, you had the blind lead and the blind, but I don't want to get too deep on that. Now, I got to show you something. Okay. Kind of a street interview situation, but not TSU, not that. This guy's going to ask a young lady between the two of these individuals. Matter of fact, I ain't going to spoil it. Let's just go ahead and roll it. And then I'll give you my 2 cents.
Hypothetically, right, out of these two, who do you think is more likely to be supportive of human rights?
Number two, mostly because of I think it's like a keffiyeh or something. And then the Hamas shirt, I do think that violence is the voice of the unheard, and Hamas has been very much unheard for 75 years.
Hypothetically, right?
Okay, so you can see what's going on. You got one guy with a red Trump shirt on and the other guy with some Islamic type garb on, from the t-shirt and the headgear or whatever. And then the young lady, I believe, is saying that she would trust the more Islamic looking guy because of Hamas or whatever. But look, I'm not trying to make fun of the appearance, but I'm just trying to explain something here. When you see this kind of appearance, okay, aside from the weight, that's obvious, but the kind of dark clothing, the mask over their face, see, that's somebody that could go into the Antifa route. They might not feel welcome in other spaces. Rather than improving themselves to become part of other spaces, they just go to the Antifa crowd. That crowd is full of people that look just like that. Okay. And if you got the mentality of being sympathetic toward the Hamas and all of that, it's easy to get you wrapped up in Antifa. It's very easy. That person right there could be on the front line in some city acting a complete fool. And I hope and pray that this person doesn't go that direction and they find God or find something else better to do. But that's kind of how it happens. That's how it happens. That person right there would be a prime candidate to be part of Antifa. Prime candidate. And I see this kind of thing, this kind of behavior all the time. Matter of fact, there's one video I want to show you guys. I want to show it, but I don't want to show it because I can't really show it. It's kind of hard to describe. Hold on. I'm going to show you the video, but I'm not going to cut it up or nothing like that. I'm going to just show you what's going on. Okay, I'm going to show you what's going on to give you a little bit more information about what I'm talking about as far as being able to identify certain people that might be, a little bit Trantifa-esque. They might need some help. Okay, this guy right here. So look, nothing against him or his mom or nothing like that, but I want you guys to look and see what kind of person we're dealing with when it comes to that, when it comes to those who could be radicalized. All right.
So tell me what you know.
So this guy is going to give you some tips about the I might have already played this. I don't think I did. Now, I played it on my stream last night, but I didn't play it here. This guy will give you some tips about how to spot the groypers, Nick Fuentes bunch on the internet, what kind of memes and whatnot they use.
So tell me what you know about the groypers so that you don't find them online because you need to avoid them, correct?
Yes, they are alt-right members.
Mm-hmm.
They're Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
They support Nick Fuentes and Donald Trump.
Uh-huh, but what about the memes? What are the memes you have to be careful about?
This is a groyper frog.
Yeah, that's Pepe. Yeah, we know that one. What else? What are the ones we don't know?
The Wojaks.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, so what I want you to see is this whole situation. Let me just break it down for you right quick, okay? And I think this is what's happening with a lot of the young white boys. There's no dad here. There's no adult male presence here. He is similar to his mom. He is on that iPad probably all the time, probably been that way since he's been a little boy. A baby that was given the iPad and just put over there with nothing, no real extracurricular activity, no real male presence, none of that. You're just an iPad kid. So that kid right there can be easily taken over by extremist content online because he has no real North Star in his life. His mom can't do anything. Listen, nothing against the women, but you cannot raise men. You can raise little boys, little girls. You guys are the best. Women are the best at raising small children. But once they start to get older, I would say, I'm going to ask y'all, what do you think the age is where the dad needs to take over from the mom? Where the dad needs to be more of an influence over the child than the mom? I would say right around the end of like 8, 9. Like in elementary school, like maybe 4th grade, I would say 5th grade. It depends. But at a certain point, dad needs to be more of an influence on their child, the boy and the girl. Because if they're not, the mom cannot help them get to the next stage. He's going to potentially wind up just like this, unless there's uncle, granddad, somebody. Now, God bless me with a whole village of people. I'm talking about, I got so many uncles and older cousins and people that's like my older brother. And I got so many of them in my life. I got hundreds of them in my life. And of course, I had my dad the whole time. And my dad was like a role, like the best. My parents, both my mom and my dad were the best. And my mom understood once I got to be a certain age, I'm going to look more toward the men in my life to have them give me guidance. But a boy like this never had it. He's going to be an iPad kid, online, a troon, and whatever he sees on the internet, whatever he sees through that iPad, if it appeals to the male part of his brain, to the guy part of his brain, that can easily radicalize him. So when you're being called the N-word and stuff online, when you're getting people that troll you on your internet channel, it's him. So I don't even be like upset when I get called the N-word or something like that, because I know who I'm dealing with. What kind of person would do that other than him? And the reason why he's like that is because his development has been stunted by a lack of male presence in his life. That's just really the bottom line. Okay. So a lot of you guys saying at least about 12 years old. Veronica says ideally 7 to 8 years old, but at least around 12 years old. Exactly. 100%. 100%. Marisha 91 says mom can't help you past 10 years old. Exactly. So that is what you got to look out for when you're talking about guys that could go a dangerous route. Because we could say, oh, look at his hair, blah, blah, blah. We could say that, and that's fine. But that's a very dangerous person at the end of the day, if he's left kind of unchecked here. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Get a video a thumbs up. Now, Michael Knowles is going to be out there on a Turning Point tour. And we got some people that are protesting him. Okay. And this scene is crazy. It has everything that you would think of when you're talking about a protest of a conservative person. Check this out. So if you can't hear him, he was saying, hey, hey, ho, ho, Michael Knowles has got to go. Okay. So now, aside from the dude with the fan appropriating black culture, that's funny, with the LGBT sleep. Can I say something right quick? Listen, why is it that gay white men act like sassy black women? Like, what is that all about? What is it do with that? The fan, that's like a black American thing. Why do you have that? And why do you have the flag, the LGBT flag on it? You take what we do, you take who we are, and try to make it fit to your LGBT lifestyle. I don't appreciate that at all. I really don't. Okay. So that's you with the appropriated fan, and then you have the handmaids. What's up with them? Why do I always see them? Do they want to do that? Is that how they want to be? Because they're always wearing that costume. My question is, have you worn that costume more than 3 times? If you have, then that means you want to wear it. You're not wearing it out of protest. You're wearing it because you enjoy it. If you enjoy the Handmaid's Tale cosplay, just say that. It's fine. Go to a convention and be that over there. Don't go to some kind of protest and dress up. That's an excuse to get dressed up. You could go to a convention and be a regular human being. But anyway, so yeah, the fan pop and all that kind of stuff with the LGBT flag on it. If I was a black woman, I'd be really offended. I'd be really offended. They took the Boots on the Ground song and made it into a Pride March song. Just like when you heard this little light of mine get appropriated into some LGBT Trantifa type stuff. It's a mess, man. I don't like it. Now, I know this crowd of people right here were infuriated when they heard that Jimmy Kimmel was being taken off the air at first. Although he's back, we're going to get to that in a minute. But here's what I'm talking about, okay? We have a Trump pinata, and it's being held up by some kind of stick, not very well. Lady, gentlemen, are you okay? Like, are you really okay? And if you don't know what they're saying Trump, listen to what? Listen to these crazy people out here screeching, hitting the pinata, letting their frustration out, letting that Trump derangement syndrome flow through them. Mama, you look like you might be in decent shape, but your hips and elbows and whatnot are not the same anymore. Okay, you on the ground trying to pummel this pinata. You might then snap your hip. Okay, you didn't broke your back. You're gonna be hurting for a few days after you do something like that. But yeah, Trump derangement syndrome is real. And if you have family suffering from it, just seek help. Tell them to seek help. Tell them to get beyond their anger, because what I'm seeing right here, that's not somebody that's really in their right state of mind. It is what it is. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all the good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. Now, I'll tell you what, we got more of these people. This is in New York. I, for one, am tired of them, and I know New Yorkers are tired of them as well. People got to go to work, they got to go to school, they got to do regular everyday life, and you got these dweebs, these mouth breathers all in the way. Let's watch.
Come here, immigrants are welcome here. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate. No fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
There's a lot going on. First of all, very diverse crowd, right? Very, very. Look at this. Look how diverse the crowd is. Okay, I'm talking about. Hey, we got one guy right here. Or he's a photographer. He don't even count. Okay, you got a black officer and a black photographer. But the people out here, so-called protesting, you can see the crowd all white. Okay, not very diverse at all. And my man right here with the collar on, I'm not very convinced. You look kind of looking a little baggy, sir. I'm gonna need you to get a little, go back to your hotel room. I know you're not from New York. You're probably from Iowa somewhere. You took a break from shucking corn and getting the farmer's hand on your back to go put on this janky Ross Dress for Less preacher outfit, pastor, priest, whatever you want to call yourself. I'm not buying it. If I go into a church and I see your priest looking like this, I'm be like, you know what? It's that Homer Simpson meme when he come into the house, put his hat on the thing and put it back on and walk out. That's me. What was that? The Paw from The Simpsons? I'm him if I see that guy in church. It's like, bro, put a little bit of steam on that and get it more fitted. I'm not really believing that you are a priest. And if you are a priest, shame on you being out there talking like that. And again, if I'm in New York City, I'm trying to work, get from point A to point B, and you got these dweebs in the way. And here's something else I got to ask. How are you able to just go all over the place and do nothing all day? Like, even when I'm like not working, I'm still doing something. Even when I'm okay, on my Sundays, I'm not working. I don't put no videos out normally. I'm doing a lot. Okay. I don't really sit on my hind parts or just be outside just yapping all day. Who has time for that? Maybe they're probably getting paid. Might be a big ball of money, a big bag of money behind all of what's happening. Okay. Now here's a good question from this young lady here. What was the question? I want to get the question right. Oh, if not faith or country, what binds the left? What brings them together? Let's watch.
I have a question for you. What unites the left wing? What makes the left wing come together in community? Because with the right wing, it's obviously Christianity and their collective commitment and love for Jesus, and also nationalism. They are nationalists. America, flag, nationalism. Where for me personally, when I think of national, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. So we don't have a unifying glue in the left wing that binds us together. What is it? What brings us together? What do you think? I have a question for you.
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked. I think what brings the left together is hatred. And I hate to be that way, but that's kind of what's going on. And people who are on the left right now may not realize that hatred binds you guys. Whenever I see the left out there doing anything, it's always something negative, something hateful. Give you an example, Charlie Kirk's funeral. The service was praise and worship. Now, some are going to say, oh, there were some things said. Praise and worship was the theme of the service. Meanwhile, outside the funeral, leftists were coming together to hate. At this point, really, it's good versus evil, and the good are going to the right. The evil are going to the left because the conditions that make the evil thrive exist over on the left. You don't care about killing babies. You don't care about killing your political opponent. You don't care about being racist toward those who don't have your same point of view, because I get called the N-word every day from the left on the internet. Never in reality because they're cowards. If I'm just out at an airport, if I'm out on the street, if I'm out in the city, I never, ever, ever, ever get approached negatively. I get some funny looks. I give you a funny look back, like what you want to do. I never get approached negatively. It's always positive. Hey man, love your videos. You the best. It's always that. Can I get a picture? It's never nothing negative. But when they feel confident, when they feel comfortable, they come together to hate. So hopefully that answers your question. That's what you guys have in common. And until y'all can realize that, you're going to continue to fall. You continue to fall. Now, this young woman is asked about banning firearms. Would you ban firearms? And you could probably guess the answer, but let's see what she says here.
Before banning firearms?
Ban that entirely. I don't think any civilian should have a gun. It's ridiculous. At all. Nobody.
Handguns, ARs, whatever it is.
Whatever firearm you want to call it, a pistol, whatever the hell it is.
No firearms.
Absolutely not. Get rid of that.
Would you support then just eradicating in the Constitution the Second Amendment?
Yes. If the Constitution has been amended before, it can be amended now.
Before banning?
Okay, see, people think that it's just so simple. They think if they just, quote unquote, ban firearms, everything will be okay. It'd be no more mass shootings, nobody getting assaulted on the subway, nobody getting, there wouldn't be any more problems if we just ban firearms. But first of all, you have at least 325 to 375, maybe even 400 million guns out in the wild. And do you think you're going to be able to confiscate all of those? Listen, I had some guns, but right now they're at the bottom of the Tennessee River. They're way at the bottom. So unless you're going to dredge that and recover it, you're not going to find it. And they probably done already floated all the way downstream somewhere. It'd be, you never know where they're going to be. Who knows? You have 400 million or so guns loose in America. So what are you going to do to rein those in? Number one. And number two, if you ban guns from the citizenry, from regular everyday people, you're not going to ban them from the criminals. So all you're going to do is disarm the public. So the criminals will have guns. So will law enforcement. So will military. All that makes you is vulnerable to not only the criminals, but also the government. If you think the government can be tyrannical and take your rights, put you in the gulag, the only thing you could do to defend yourself will be your Second Amendment right. The only thing you have to defend yourself from that is your Second Amendment. If you give that up, you have no recourse. So I think people like this, a lot of youngins, they have the right idea. They want peace. They want everybody to be lovey-dovey, all this, that, and the third. But you got to understand society for what it is. You got to understand this world for what it is. And if you are not able to protect yourself, you're going to be out here in a really bad way. You're going to be lost. Lost very badly. Yes, they said they want that. They want it to where you can't defend yourself. Yeah. Now, speaking about being able to defend yourself and tyrants or whatnot, we got some Antifas, okay? The Trantifa, Antifa, whatever. And this chant is pretty interesting. Matter of fact, this might not be, hold on, I ain't going to play this because it might not be authentic. Yeah, it might not be authentic. Yeah, I ain't going to play that. But it was a chant about Soros and paying them the money, but it might not be real. I'm going to go ahead and skip that. I'm going to tell you what is real. Let's go over to let's go, I almost said to the Middle East. Let's go to Warren, Michigan. Ain't that where Eminem is from? Warren, Michigan? In the Detroit area? Warren, Michigan. We have an interesting prayer ceremony out there in Michigan. What happens when Islam becomes ubiquitous all over the nation? What happens then? You ready for that? I don't know if you're ready for it. Let's watch some of this. Nothing against anybody that's Muslim or whatever, but I don't want to become Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran. If y'all like that over there, if y'all enjoy that culture, that's totally fine. I have nothing against people that have their own culture in their own land. But the USA was not built on that. We're not built for that. This country is not that. You have the Christian values, that's what built the nation. The Islamic values, not so much. Then some are going to say, well, the Christian values of slavery. Let's not act like there was no slavery in Islam. Matter of fact, they still got slavery right now to this day. The slave trade was not just between the Africans and the Europeans. It was between the Africans, the Europeans, and the Arabs. And it was worse if you were a slave in the Arab world, because what happened is you would get put on a convoy that would go across the Sahara Desert. That's why they say Timbuktu is a faraway place, because that was one of the first outposts. You would go from West Africa, you would go up to that particular area to cross the Sahara and go to the Ottoman Empire and be a slave over there. And you were treated much more brutal over there. Castration was normal. It was brutal. It was really, 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 really bad. That's why there's not even no black folks no more over there for real, because of how brutal slavery was. Okay. So, again, nothing against the Muslims, but I don't want that in the USA. What do y'all think? I don't want that in the USA. Over there, hey, knock yourself out. Have a good time. But for that to be our religion, our culture in the USA, it's not going to work. We would collapse completely under that. Like, you already got problems right now with cultural cohesion and stuff like this. Trying to introduce that, it's not really going to work. Okay, it's not going to work. Now, let's go to Los Angeles. That was Warren, Michigan. Let's go to Los Angeles to see how great things are over there. LA, man, California, I feel for y'all in California. I really do. California is so beautiful. Naturally, it's a beautiful state. But the people there, it's just so many people that smoke crack, people that are just silly, big brains that are dumb as a box of rocks. And then you have the opposite of that, some nice, great, beautiful, conservative people that are just the best people in the world. You have the best of the best and the worst in one place. Ruled by the worst of the worst, like a Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Mad Max, Maxine Waters, etc. But let's watch some of this.
I live and work in Hollywood, like literally below the Hollywood sign. And a lot of people are like, ooh, how glamorous Hollywood. But I'm here to tell you that if I went for a stroll down on Hollywood Boulevard right now, I would 100% see a crazy person taking a dump. I live and work.
And you know what? You don't want to see that, okay? When I was in LA, I was kind of scared to go to some of these tourist places because I don't want somebody to be, flinging no turds on me. Bro, okay, I go to a zoo. If a monkey does that, all right, I get it. But a human being, bro, no, I'm good. I'm not going to go down there where you at. I'm going to just go straight to the beach where I know it's safe, and I don't got to deal with that kind of extracurricular activity. I don't want that in my circumference. I want that to be away from me. Yeah, street doo-dooers, get away from me immediately. Now, this person has to deal with the street people acting the fool in Los Angeles. You have an establishment, you got a restaurant, and you got to deal with these bums literally stinking up the joint every single day. All right, let's watch.
I told you last night, get the fuck out! You're fucking stinking up my whole fucking restaurant. Get out! Hurry up, hurry up! Don't fucking come back here, bitch. I'm here all fucking day. Don't fucking come back here, smelly. Oh, bitch, go! You want it, bitch? I'll give it to you. I told you last night.
So how do you feel about that? Some are going to say, oh, well, she's homeless and she's going through things. At the end of the day, you're still a human being now, and you still got to treat people properly. I'm talking about not camping in front of their establishment. Just because you're homeless and you're going through things does not mean you can just inconvenience others and do whatever you want to do. Okay? Whatever you got going on, I hope and pray you're able to get through it, but don't be in front of my spot, taking my spot down, taking me down with you to your level. I'm working every day. I'm a hardworking person trying to put food on my table, and you in the way because of what you going through. Now you got to get up out of here. And also, you got to talk tough with these people. You must talk tough with them because if you don't, they're not going to get it. They don't understand. They don't understand. Okay, can you please get it away? Can you please leave? You gotta be cussing and yelling and stuff like that with these people, and that creates an environment where it can be kind of toxic. I wouldn't want to be around it. But look at the beauty of this place, though. The beach is right there. It looks like it's a beautiful place, but you got this kind of stuff going on. Okay, when you got that kind of stuff going on, it's like I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Sadie says, you can't be nice out there in California. They will see your weakness. Exactly. 100%. 100%. You cannot be nice to these people. You have to be firm and stern. If you're not, then they're just going to do whatever they want to do. 100%. You're correct about that. All day long. Okay. Now, this is a little bit more of Los Angeles. LA, I saw this kind of stuff when I was there. Look at the sidewalk. How can you walk on a sidewalk? You got tents, garbage. I'm sure it's human waste out there. It's a little bit of everything. Not safe. Even though it's broad daylight, I would not feel safe right there. Again, Los Angeles. Beautiful state. Great people, but also this. You got both in one place. Yeah. So is that a homeless center? So here's something else though. Okay, you have a homeless shelter, people outside, just sitting down, doing nothing. And a lot of them probably don't want to be inside the actual homeless shelter because you got rules. So they camp outside instead. That's how that goes. Hey, if you go inside the shelter, first of all, it's dangerous, but so is the streets. But beyond that, you can't be in there smoking crack. You can't be in there doing all these crazy things you want to do on the outside. You want to be free as a bird on the outside to smoke your drugs, to fornicate with these people, you want to do that on the outside. You can't do that on the inside. Okay, that's kind of what's going on. I couldn't do it. I was in Dallas recently, and I did see some homeless people, but I didn't see tents. I didn't see the amount of stuff you would see in a place like LA. It just wasn't really a thing. Okay, street interview. Shout out Shaney Rich for, I guess, interviewing himself to a certain extent. Let's watch some of this. And again, shout out Shaney Rich.
How do you feel about Jimmy Kimmel getting taken off air?
It's about damn time.
Why?
I mean, that dude celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. He spun it in a disgusting way with a disgusting narrative and claimed that it was a right-wing MAGA propagandist that killed the largest conservative activist and civil rights leaders of our time. Seriously, shot him in cold daylight, broad daylight. It's messed up. You know, that guy was doing what he did best, debating about free speech, and then, you know, you put a bullet in his neck, and it was not a MAGA dude. No, it was a radical left lunatic with a transgender boyfriend who literally plotted to destroy our country and was an absolute maggot. So Jimmy Kimmel, kick rocks. You only had 129,000 viewers a night anyway. That's less than I get, and I don't know how you had a multi-million-dollar contract on ABC. So I'll see you later. Maybe you should start a podcast.
How do you feel about...
Exactly. Right on point. Shaney Rich, that you said everything right there. Jimmy Kimmel spun the death in a disgusting way, and then he's like, okay, I still want my millions of dollars. It's like, nah, that ain't really how it goes. Start a podcast. Because listen, if you get 129,000 viewers, you have an audience, but it's not a TV audience. It's not really a big TV audience. Start a podcast and see how that goes. That's what I would say. If you're really good, if you're really talented, your skills will translate off of network television. It'll translate into your podcast if you're really good. So shout out Shaney Rich and Jimmy Kimmel. Not a fan. Okay, now speaking of Jimmy Kimmel and the censorship, let's watch this because there's been quite a bit of censorship over the years, and it usually goes in one direction, from one direction. Let's watch.
Watch this. Twitter banned the president permanently. Oh, damn! They took away his precious.
Well, Facebook upheld their ban of Donald Trump today for at least another 6 months.
It is so funny to watch the Trump supporters and the Republicans melt down over Tucker Carlson getting fired from Fox News.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have agreed to part ways.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson after all these years.
They evaluated whether or not Trump's tweets violated Twitter policy. They said no, we could just label it as incitement to violence anyway to get the job done.
Donald Trump's Twitter account just got suspended. Now, the first thing that we need to note is that this is very, very funny.
And even with Twitter, you cannot find actual evidence of any direct government censorship of any lawful speech.
Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg claims he was pressured by the White House to censor content related to COVID-19 during the pandemic.
And direct law enforcement to counter this extremism. We will hold social media platforms accountable.
And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very clearly incitement of violence.
There are Americans who are engaged in kind of propaganda, and whether they should be civilly or criminally charged would be a better deterrent.
To stop Tucker Carlson from going on tonight, now that he's seen how he is perverting and slying the truth.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our...
There we go. So there's quite a bit of them on the left supporting censorship, restriction of free speech, whatever they want to call it, when it goes against the right. When it benefits the left, they're all for it. But when Jimmy Kimmel gets suspended temporarily, what was it, just like not even a week? Not even a week. I said look, it was temporary because of what he said. People were calling and complaining. So what do? Okay, you got somebody that goes on there and mocks a young man who was shot and killed on camera in front of the whole world. Millions, tens of millions of people were affected. People that were friends, you got family, you got all of that. And you make light of it. You're making jokes about it. Okay? Don't say nothing else other than, we're going to show the so-called apology in a minute. But you make jokes about it. So, of course, people are going to say, hey, what was that? They're going to complain. And as a result, they got you booted off of Nexstar and Sinclair channels. And Bob Iger had to step in. The big boss from Disney had to step in and say, hey, come on, Jimmy. Like, this is causing us to lose money. Okay? That's the bottom line. You're losing the company money. So they had to do something. They had to stop the bleeding and to make the things just cool down a little bit so they can just retrieve the money. That's all. But for that move, you want to say that we are the party of censorship, that we don't believe in free speech? How dare you? But you know, that's what the left does, though. A bunch of projection. Rules for thee, but not for me. And speaking about censorship, so look, this is a story that happened. YouTube admits the Biden administration pressured them to censor Americans. And what they're going to do now, they're going to offer people who were terminated during that time to get their accounts back. Yep. So if you got booted for COVID misinformation, whatever they wanted to say, okay, come on back. It's time. They admitted the Biden administration did that, but we're the party of censorship. We're the party of we're the party of violating the First Amendment. Make it make sense. We never did that during Trump's term. Trump's people never pressured social media censorship. We're the ones that opened it up because Elon Musk purchased Twitter and opened communication for the left and the right. The left don't do that. We do that. We're the champions of free speech. We're the ones who freed the slaves. It was us on the right. They don't get to claim moral high ground over us. We have the moral high ground over them. Okay, now, here is the apology from Jimmy Kimmel as he came back on air yesterday after not even 1 week. But so they suspended him on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So Thursday, Friday, Monday, that was it. 3 business days, he was gone. That was enough to cause somebody to crash out so much they shot up an ABC affiliate. 3 days, bro. 3 days, and you crashed out like that. Hey, man, have fun in the penitentiary. Have fun in the penitentiary making big rocks to little. But let's watch some of this.
I don't think what I have to say is going to make much of a difference. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I have no illusions about changing anyone's mind. But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human. And that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Bro, stop right there. Pump the brakes. Hold your horses. Not so fast. The fake cry and the crazy face frown, I'm not buying it. I know that was probably a Dana Walden deal he told you to do. Hey, Jim, when you go back on there, can you at least cry a little bit? Just sell it to the people. You don't want to sell it? Shout out Roger Jackson. You don't want to sell it? I'm not buying this, but I digress.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
Okay, so are you guys believing the apology? The half apology, barely apology, his returning remarks, are you buying it? I'm not buying it. And for real, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier as far as my patience not really being there. I'm not even trying to hear what he has to say. What he said right there, it didn't even make a difference. So what he said from the beginning, that we're not going to care, I don't really care what he says because I'm not going to believe it. He has a track record. This is not something that he just said as a one-off. It wasn't just a one-off, off-color type of joke that somebody got offended by. This is years, 10 plus years now, of him and all the other late night talk show hosts saying the exact same thing about Trump and the MAGAs and anybody that's conservative at all. You don't have on anybody on your platform who's conservative. You had one conservative guy over the past, I don't know how many years, and that was Mike Lindell, and all you did was just clown him the whole time. Okay? You don't bring on anybody from the right because you don't like us. You hate us. You are just somebody who's there to support your own people, your own target audience, and it's not us. Your own target audience loves to hate us. Okay? That's why that guy went out there and shut up that building, because you trained him to hate. Okay? That's what I said earlier. What the left have to coalesce around is hate. Now, there was a big boost for Jimmy Kimmel's ratings, of course, because of the controversy. Nobody would watch it beyond that. There was a big boost, but that boost will go right back down to normal. If any new viewers are captured, they're going to realize that he's going to say Orange Man bad every night, and it's not going to be a very entertaining experience. But let's watch some of this, shall we?
Huge, absolutely huge. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at YouTube views, Jimmy Kimmel Live video views. The 6-month median, the median video only gets 240,000. Look how many views Tuesday night's monologue already has. 6.7 million. That's over 25 times as large as the median Jimmy Kimmel video normally gets. And I was looking, it is by far the largest video in at least 6 months. So if Donald Trump's idea was to give Jimmy Kimmel more press and more viewership, he absolutely did so. Of course, I don't think that is what Donald Trump intended to do.
Do you have any sense beyond YouTube of just how big his appeal may have been? Like, a lot of people wanted to clearly watch this from all facets of, not just in America, but you know, this is from around the world.
That's exactly right. So we got this 6.7 million. I will note that number is up already about 700,000 from the last time I checked, which was about an hour ago. But take a look here. Record high Google searches last night for what time is Jimmy Kimmel on?
Because don't nobody watch him. Like, they had to Google him to see what time he come on, because they wouldn't normally know because they don't watch him. Nobody really watches him.
You wouldn't have to check what time Jimmy Kimmel was on if you were a regular viewer. The reason that people were checking what time Jimmy Kimmel was on, because he was potentially pulling in a lot of viewers who normally didn't watch. And get this, it was up over 10,000%. My goodness gracious. This, of course, dates all the way back since 2004, basically since Jimmy Kimmel was first on the air. So no, it was not just on YouTube. There was a ton of interest, what we're talking about nationwide, worldwide, in terms of what time was Jimmy Kimmel on, because I don't normally watch him, but maybe I want to take a gander because maybe I'm interested to hear what he has to say.
So that's pretty much what's going on with Jimmy. After the Charlie Kirk, what happened was he got taken off the air. It was a whole big story about him not being on the air anymore and free speech. After this story dies down, so will his boosted ratings, which would be within 24 to 48. Okay? Really might be died down right now, because what's the point in watching them beyond that? Nothing, no reason, no purpose. If not for what he did, I wouldn't even show him at all. If not for what he did, I would not show him at all. And if you guys didn't see it the last time, this is what I was talking about. This guy shot up a random ABC affiliate in California after it was announced that Kimmel was taken off the air. Kimmel was gone for 3 business days, and this guy shot up an ABC affiliate in retaliation for the removal. Watch this.
A 64-year-old man named Hannibal
Hernandez Santana has been arrested as the suspect in the shooting that led to an investigation here at ABC 10 in Sacramento along Broadway. And as the sun has risen this morning, you can see for yourself plywood over one of the windows in the lobby there. Now, earlier in the day on Friday, police were called here in response to shots fired from outside the ABC 10's building. No one was injured despite the building being occupied at the time. 3 bullet holes were seen in the window on the building's lobby, and that's when the investigation began. Later the same day, KCRA3 saw police in the River Park neighborhood, including SWAT teams. A witness at the scene reported seeing a man tackled and then taken into custody. Sacramento police thanked the FBI for providing resources in its investigation and have asked anyone with further information to contact their department.
There we go. So again, that guy was a big time never Trumper, hated Trump, hated the MAGAs, hated everybody. And he shot up an ABC affiliate because Kimmel was taken off the air. He was upset about Kimmel being removed. He thought it was a violation of free speech, all this, that, and the third. Bro, he was gone for 3 business days. It's not that deep. But again, when you train your audience to hate, when you coalesce around hate, when hate is what brings you together, hate is what you're going to give. Regardless, that's just how that goes. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Oh, and also, let's take a look at Kimmel's audience. Let's say that. Let's show some of Kimmel's audience. Okay, because listen, the audience is very diverse. I want you guys to check it out. Matter of fact, no sound here. Let's just look at it from here. All right. Very, very diverse group of people. Look at that. All right. And they love it. Yay, Kimmel's back. I'm so happy. Yay. One Indian dude and his wife. Okay, there we go. But you see the general audience there. Nothing against somebody of any race. But these are the people that talk about Orange Man bad, Orange Man racist, Republicans hate black people, they're not diverse, all this, that, and the third. Well, what am I looking at right now? There go that projection yet again. Projection all day long. So there we go. Hey, have you guys been to a Jimmy Kimmel live taping? Would you go to one? You think they're paid, Taylor? They probably are paid. They probably are paid. Yep. That's probably a studio audience, meaning actors in an audience. Oh, and one more for Kimmel before I move on. I probably won't show much more from him tonight or ever again. But one more because Tylenol. Oh, man. Tylenol, listen, I got a story that someone will share with you that'll blow you away about Tylenol in the wake of what Trump said about Tylenol being linked to autism. Let's watch what Jimmy said as we continue.
His press conference yesterday was an all-timer. Trump, Bobby Brainworm, and Dr. Roz strongly recommend that pregnant women stop taking Tylenol immediately, and the president was very persuasive making his case. This is Tylenol we're talking about. The thing that you take when they won't let you take anything that works. It's never, they gave me Tylenol. It's always, all they gave me was Tylenol. But make no mistake, this was an historic announcement. This was a major breakthrough in the field of medicine. And just in case it isn't clear, if someone comes up and offers you a Tylenol, you should not take it.
Don't take Tylenol. Don't take it. With Tylenol, don't take it.
His press conference yesterday was...
All right, there we go. So that is Kimmel talking about Trump's press conference about the Tylenol situation. Look... It's funny how Trump can repeat something that someone else said. In this case, it's a Harvard study, and it's been around for years. He can just cite the study. People will say that it's wrong. Matter of fact, hold on. Here's a real tweet from Tylenol themselves. A real tweet. Look, I'm on the website right here, and there's responses and everything. Listen, so first they posted this back in 2017. Sometimes the best headache relief is getting outside. After all, brisk air is still fresh air. So they're telling you, you know what? You don't have to take a Tylenol for every pain you got going on, okay? You don't got to take drugs for every little pain you got. It's okay to get a little bit of fresh air, go outside, get some good food in your body, do something that's natural so you're not just constantly popping pills all day long, right? Now, somebody had responded, which has been deleted, and then Tylenol responded, we don't actually, hold on. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. They said that. So this is 2017. So when Trump says the exact same thing that Tylenol says, it's somehow wrong. It's somehow he's not really a doctor. He need to shut up. I don't really understand. I don't get it. When Tylenol says it, it makes sense, right? They're telling you about their own products. When Trump repeats what they say, it's a problem. Like I said in my video, Trump should say that oxygen is good for you. Oh, that good old oxygen is great. Do that. Hey, people going to be suffocating themselves, plastic bag, big mask over their face to not breathe the oxygen because Trump said that it's good to do. And they'll do the opposite. People are so silly. But here is the comment from Trump about Tylenol.
Tylenol.
And then I'm going to give you what someone did in response. A video I've not shown yet.
Tylenol during pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism. So taking Tylenol is not good. All right, I'll say it. It's not good. For this reason, they are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary. That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever, that you feel you can't tough it out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think. But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. It can be something that's very dangerous to the woman's health. In other words, a fever that's very, very dangerous, and ideally a doctor's decision, because I think you shouldn't take it. And you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy, you shouldn't take it during the entire. And you shouldn't give the child the Tylenol every time he's born and he goes and has a shot. You shouldn't give a Tylenol to that child. All pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally, you don't take it at all. But if you can't tough it out, if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it.
So what was wrong with that? It's only wrong because Trump said it. If you read the bottle of Tylenol and it says the exact same thing that he says, it's okay. If Trump could have brought out a bottle of Tylenol and read it right in front of people, he could have pointed to the words on the bottle and just read it, like right here. Organic coconut water. Oh, that's not organic. ABL's lying. I'm just reading the package. I'm literally reading the package. I'm just saying what it says. That's how they are with Trump. Now watch this.
I got a.
Okay, this is crazy. A nurse talking about a call she got because someone took a lot of Tylenol to try and own the MAGAs, own President Trump, but she overdosed. Let's watch.
I got a call, a very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol and she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the 3 most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with, so I don't get censored. But now people are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. I mean, weren't these the same people who put Harvard and Fauci and the pillars of science on a pedestal?
They sure did. They sure did. But that is so sad that people, it is so sad people are going to risk their own life and their baby's life to try and prove President Trump wrong, that somehow Tylenol is totally safe. I got a newsflash. Tylenol is not 100% safe. It's a drug. Any drug, over the counter or not, is not 100% safe. It can be mostly safe, but there are some risks. And if you take a lot of it, you just guzzling them for no reason. Yeah, that can be you could poison yourself like that. Listen, you could poison yourself with regular everyday things. You can harm yourself with things you need. For example, if you drink too much water, you can drown and die. Eat too much food. Okay, congestive heart failure, obesity, you're blocking your windpipe, all that kind of stuff. You could die like that. But you gotta drink water and you gotta eat food. Now, when it comes to drugs, you don't have to take drugs. And if you do, there can be some problems. So, hey man, RIP to the lady. RIP to her. But what do you think is going to happen if you just guzzling Tylenol? What's going to be the outcome of that? Let's just kind of put 2 and 2 together, shall we? Okay, I got one more here for the Tylenol situation. Now, off the rip, I'm not sure if this guy's legitimate, but let's just watch it a little bit.
So, Dr. Trump, that's right, Dr. Orange Orangutan doesn't want people to take Tylenol. He says Tylenol is dangerous. Most of us have been taking Tylenol forever, and it has never, never, never affected us in any way, shape, or form. All it did is make our heads feel better. And that's what he needs. He needs his head checked. This stuff is been given for people, for babies, forever. And to prove that it's safe, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to listen to whatever Dr. Don says. What school did he go to? He didn't go to what? He went to Trump University? Huh? Is that some failed college now, isn't it? Isn't some people suing him? That's right. Because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Safe. So to prove that it's safe,
bro.
We know this has not affected anybody in years. So, oh God, they taste terrible if you chew them up. Don't chew them. Just swallow.
Bro, I hope you're just playing and that was some candy or something you just swapped out with the pills. If you took Tylenol like that, you just guzzling them in your mouth, doing the Destiny corn on the cob, crazy left, right, left jaw. Man, you about to die, bro. Hey, man, call the cops. Call the ambulance and get you on the gurney immediately. I hope, for his sake, that he was just playing and that was some Tic Tacs or something that he swapped out for the pills. Because, bro, you gonna die immediately. And I don't want that for you, man. I don't want that for you. I want you to live as long as you can. Don't go out like that. You know what I mean? Look, if you're going to go out naturally, surrounded by family. Don't go out guzzling Tylenol for a TikTok video, bro. Don't do that. Yeah, hey, he's going to win the Darwin Awards for sure. He shall win the Darwin Award. All right. Now, do I have more? I know we got no more time. It's almost time for some calls and whatnot. Let me see if I can play something right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Well, I'll just get to the calls in a minute. Okay, hold on. I think I got one. the ICE facility. I do got to show that.
Guys?
The ICE situation, the ICE facility.
Griff, we just heard from Todd Lyons. He said, hi, we had shots fired into the Dallas ICE office, into the ICE office, specifically into the Sallyport, as you were saying, Griff, area where detainees are brought in. 3 people have been shot and en route to the hospital. Reports are the shooter is down from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Reports are all ICE employees are accounted for, still searching and securing the scene.
Yeah, and Ainsley, Secretary Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary, is now responding on social media as well, saying that there was a shooting this morning at the Dallas ICE detention facility. Details are still emerging, but we can confirm there were multiple injuries and fatalities. That's new and troubling. The shooter is deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. She says, while we don't know the motive yet, we know that our ICE law enforcement is facing unprecedented violence against them. It must stop. She adds, please pray for the victims and their families.
And the guy shot into the ICE facility and he killed 3 of the migrants. And it's crazy because some are trying to say he's a right-wing guy because he killed the migrants. So you think that he was able to see through the wall, to see through the actual lobby and see who he was hitting? He was just firing indiscriminate, and anybody could have got hit. Anybody could have got hit. Okay. I'm going to show one video from MS13 DNC, then I'm going to keep on moving because we don't got no more time. But this guy talking about the shooting, let's see what he has to say. All right. This is Christopher O'Leary, former FBI senior official.
The writing, the first time we really saw that was Brenton Tarrant in the Christchurch shooting in a mosque in New Zealand, and he was a fierce, white supremacist and neo-Nazi, and wrote all over his weapon and his rounds very hateful information. So to see this coming from potentially the other side of the political spectrum is a little strange because it is not something, if you are trying to, carry out some kind of message countering, more extreme right-wing stuff, I don't know why you would, use a tactic that a famous white supremacist who has been revered and copycatted over the years by other white supremacists, why you would do that. But it does appear that people are moving in that direction because they want people to know what they're doing and why they're doing it. Again, terrorism is theater. They want people to understand their message and why they're doing it.
So this guy's linking it to white supremacists. He's citing something that happened in New Zealand. Bro, let's stay a little bit stateside, shall we? Let's stay stateside and let's just read the room. Didn't we just have Charlie Kirk get assassinated by a stone cold stomp down leftist kind of guy, Troon with a transgender girlfriend, who wrote things in the magazine? Didn't we just have another guy before him do the exact same thing? Another one before him? Like, let's keep it in context of what's happening in the USA rather than something happened a long time ago or a while back in a whole different part of the world, New Zealand. It's not the USA. It ain't the same things going on. It's not the same issues happening. But of course, they got to bring guys like that on TV to misdirect. That's what they do over on the mainstream media. I got one more, then we get to the calls. This is an example of how the media does, okay? We're going to have one take about the shooting in Dallas at the top, on the bottom, about the Charlie Kirk assassination. Let's watch.
And it stood out to me, obviously, because we have seen just the rhetoric escalate. We've also seen the very dramatic videos of ICE nabbing individuals and tossing them into unmarked vehicles. A lot of these ICE agents have been masked, and so it has been very divisive. And there's been a lot of fear in the different communities.
And the FBI stands in full support of the ongoing response and the investigation. Charlie Kirk is a divisive figure, polarizing, lightning rod, whatever term you want to use. Why?
And it stood out to me.
Divisive. It's all about divisive. So the onus is on us. Like, we're the ones that are being blamed, okay? We get to blame. All right, so a leftist guy shoots an ICE facility. It's somehow because of the divisive nature of the Trump administration, the agents doing their job. That's divisive. Charlie Kirk gets assassinated in front of the whole world. Well, he was divisive. Same script. And people are about done with that. They are about done with that. I know I am. I've been finished with the mainstream media. I've not watched them in a serious way in years now. It's been a very long time. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, we have some super chats to get to. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. I got you, dudes. Don't worry about it. I got you with the calls. Super chats first. Thank you to Gregor trying to say happy 44th birthday, ABL. You're the man. Love your shows. Keep it going. USA flags all over the place. I appreciate you for that, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to Anwali. I know I'll tell your name, and I'm sorry, who says, ABL, thanks for your insightful knowledge. Thumbs up, hand clap. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, can we all agree that Destiny is a demon? For sure. Yeah, and, you know, the worst kind of white guy that you could ever produce. My favorite kind of whites are productive guys who are no nonsense. Okay, they're all about just going forward and doing the right thing, being the best that they can be, working. That's my favorite kind of white, black, whatever. Destiny is like the worst of us. How old is he anyway? He's got to be closer to my age. Okay, how old is Destiny? 36, 37 in December. What kind of life is that to live at that age, to be the kind of person he is? That's not who anyone should aspire to be. And I feel like if you are watching somebody, you should aspire to be more like them. That's my humble opinion. But he's not a guy you should aspire to be like at all. Thank you to Marta for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Seafoam for also becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Mauricio91 who says, Mom can't help you past 10 years old. That's right. Thank you to Devin who says, where's Make America Kind Again? Also beats effigy. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. So the lady that was beating the Donald Trump effigy, the pinata, had on the shirt that said Make America Kind Again. Make America Kind Again. What? Kind of crazy, kind of silly, kind of violent? I don't understand what Make America Kind Again means in real context. Thank you to Taylor Langley who says, did you hear about Gavin Newsom banning face masks for ICE agents? I saw that, yeah. I played some of that in my video about the shooter in Dallas. It's like, talking about why they need to wear the mask? Because y'all crazy people on the left want to hunt ICE agents down because you guys tell them that they are Nazis and they should be dealt with in public. That's why they got to wear the mask. Because of the negative, hateful rhetoric coming from the left. Thank you to Mauricio who says, you mean what Harvard said about Tylenol? Exactly. Not Trump. It was a Harvard study that Trump cited. Again, Trump could have read the box of Tylenol, organic coconut water. Nah, I'm just reading it. Shout out to Monique. Monique says, this Tylenol fiasco makes me not want to take any medication. I currently take Benadryl nightly to sleep. Maybe it's just my sign to stop. I would say go ahead and stop that. Yeah. I would say go ahead and stop. I don't take no medication, period. No medication, period. I've not had any kind of pills in my house for years. I had some supplements at one point, like vitamin C, stuff like that. But now I don't even do that. I just eat very well. My diet is so good. I have a highly nutritious diet. I have a diet high in nutrients. So that's where I get my vitamins, minerals from. It's my food. Okay. Like supplements are good if you are eating a diet that does not have a lot of nutrients. If you're eating a lot of processed food and stuff like this, a lot of sugar and whatnot, you're going to need the supplements to add to what you are eating because you're not eating the proper food that give you the proper supplements, the proper nutrients to your body. But my go-to meal, again, y'all know me, my go-to meal, baked salmon, brown rice, avocado, tomato. That right there is nutrient packed. And I eat a lot of nuts, love pistachios, what else? Pecans, not roasted, just straight up regular pecans, picked from the thing. Pecans, regular like Virginia peanuts, like with some salt on it, salted peanuts, cashews, pistachios, raisins, almonds. That's my general thing that I eat a lot. And people could see me. You saw my picture from my birthday. I look like that without much exercise. I live an active life, but I'm not a gym rat at all. I don't be doing that. I just active and eat very well. That's going to be the key to your longevity, is being active, doing things, and eating properly. All right, let's go ahead and get to some calls. The number to call is 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. And the number is on and ready to receive calls. Yeah, but I love pistachios, though. That's my favorite. Oh, my goodness. Pistachios, like, that's the bee's knees right there. All day long. Okay, let's go to 781. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. How you doing? This is Peter from Boston.
I'm doing well, man. About yourself?
I'm good. So I wanted to talk to you about, what's his name? The Charlie's assassin. So what do you think the proper, I guess, how you say, like, when he goes to court, you know, what would you like to see the outcome of that trial to be?
Get found guilty and get the rope.
Interesting. Okay. So my first gut reaction was like, yup, you know, firing squad, whatever. Let's get rid of him, delete him. There's no point for someone like that in the earth. And then I started thinking, I'm just going to spit off just another side of the argument, see what you think of it. The kid's dad turned him in, right? So I'm very conservative. Well, I would say I'm conservative. And if my son grew up to be a liberal, I'd be pretty devastated. I don't think he will, but, you know, I'd be pretty bummed. And then not to mention if my son turned out to be a murderer, I mean, that father to do that, it must have been the most gut-wrenching thing he had ever had to do in his life, you know, being a dad myself. I couldn't even imagine. And I just kind of got thinking from the parents' perspective, like, I don't know if they deserve to have their son deleted because of what he did. Like, he does deserve to be deleted for what he did. Don't get me wrong, but, like, his parents don't deserve to lose their son. I don't think. I feel like they deserve to at least be able to give him a call once in a while and just know, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, I feel like for them to know that their son was killed by the government, it's kind of like, you know, especially with Erica forgiving him and everything, it's kind of like two wrongs don't make a right in a way. What do you think of that?
I mean, I don't really care about, because listen, Charlie's parents did not deserve to have him be assassinated at 31 years old.
True. Yep.
So, you know, I don't really feel like it's even about the parents. It's more just about being held accountable for what you did. You know, if you did something like that, be held accountable.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, you're right. Speaking of Charlie's parents, I feel like I haven't heard anything about them. Like, where are they? I feel like they didn't talk. I haven't seen anything posted online. I mean, are they just kind of staying private, I guess? They probably staying private. Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'd have a lot to say, but geez, I'd probably not want to be talking much about it either if it was my kid. Cool. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Thanks for that. No, you're right. I guess, you know, you do the crime, you pay the time, or, you know, get deleted. Interesting. Cool. Well, thanks for the show, ABL. Looking forward to the rest of the calls.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Take care. Peace.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, the sentiment behind what he's saying, but nah. It's time to go. It's time to go. That's pretty much how. That's pretty much what I say about the whole situation. Nah, get up out of here, ASAP. I'm speaking to you online, 617.
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
What's happening?
Was watching the news about the shooter, but the question is why they keep saying it's a leftist? Because I'm from the left for most of the part of the what they stand, and many of my friends are left. I know a lot of people that are leftist, and we are not shooting people from no roof. And this is a disturbed person that decided to do this. Why? Remember when you guys said that the gun is not the problem, it's the person. So why now you guys are saying that the leftists or the right? That had nothing to do with that. It's just a person that was disturbed. Now, granted, the way that ISIS handled issues is terrible. It's very bad, violating civil rights and human rights, even for Americans, even for some people born here in this country only because they look Latino. So they need to change the ways that they do things. The second thing that I want to say, why Trump doesn't take Obama playbook, how he deported in his first years over 1 million people, and Trump in 6 months only deported 150,000. Go to their jobs. They should be going to their jobs. They should be going to their jobs.
Okay, so the first question about why I call him a leftist, because that's what he was. You said that it's about the person and not the tool they use to commit an act. Well, if the person is a leftist and they do a thing for a political reason, like shooting up an ICE office, which already happened before in that same place, that same area, because there was another one in Alvarado, Texas, south of Dallas. So in that same general area, the same thing happened, and it's the same people that's doing it. It's politically motivated. It's important to know that they were on the left.
No, they said the left. The left is causing the problem. No, it's not the left. It's just one individual that got radicalized for whatever they listen or
they were on the left. The person was on the person was a leftist. So you said you said that it's not about the tool they use to commit an act. It's about the person, but the person was a leftist.
So because people in the left committing this type of crimes, or just the individual was disturbed? Which one is it?
The person was a leftist. That's the point. Excuse me. The person was a leftist, and they did this because it was politically motivated. Now you could say they were disturbed, and that's fine. That's additional to them being a leftist. You can't just say that they were disturbed and have excuse me. You can't just say they were disturbed and have that cancel out the fact that they were a leftist. Both things can be true at the same time. Both things can be true at the same time, but go ahead.
So the problem that we're having is just that, Trump, I'm not even going to tackle him because this dude is the worst that we can have. I mean, I've been watching politics in the 80s, and this is the worst that we have. And there's nothing that you can do. He's 70 years old. It's not going to change. They didn't change then. It's not going to change now. But the J.D. Vance saying, because of the news and then the leftists and what they're saying and blah, blah. Dude, if this is the case, why 10,000 leftists are not killing people? This is because one individual, maybe the way they pursued the issue, maybe they pursued the information that they received, decided to come commit this. And why have to become political now? Why instead to turn down the rhetoric and say, hey, this person it probably needs mental illness? Because when people on the right say they need mental illness. When it's about the Second Amendment, you guys say, oh, no, mental illness. So why we cannot just say mental illness now?
Excuse me. No. You asked me a question. I'm gonna answer it. You can't know. I'm gonna just answer it. Whether you say whether you start talking or not, it don't matter. I'm gonna just answer it. Now we can say that he had mental issues, obviously, but also he was politically motivated. You can't ignore that. You can't just say, well, he's crazy, therefore the political motivation don't matter. That matters because people are being brainwashed and indoctrinated into this way of thinking, and a lot of them have mental illness. That's why they're so easily malleable to go and do something like what he did. I was showing that earlier with the guy with the iPad and whatnot. I was showing how he was not really mentally all the way there, kind of, not really developed all the way. And he would be an easy target to come manipulate with leftist ideology because they are violent inherently. All they need is somebody that's not all the way right mentally to go out and do the dirty work for them. That's why it's important to say that he was leftist, but go ahead.
So it's not the same thing on the right? A lot of people that disturbing, they're not on the right? The guy that when Trump said that we're getting invaded, that drove like 10 hours in Texas and killed a bunch of people in Texas in a Walmart? It's the same thing.
Okay, in the Walmart. So in the Walmart situation, whoa. So the Walmart situation, what was he? Was he a conservative? Like what was found out about that?
He was a conservative. He wrote a letter that said that we've been invaded because that's what the president said. January 6th, for example, all these knuckleheads that went and decided.
Okay, January 6th, 5 years ago. Okay.
So you know how many votes Al Gore lost against Bush in 2000? Do you know how many votes?
I don't know.
Less than 3,000 votes. You see any Democrats went and did that?
Did what?
Any Democrat went to Capitol Hill and started this nonsense that these people started? No. Well, of course, it's different times because we didn't have social media. We have a lot of mouthpieces, a lot of misinformation social media.
So do you think that J6 was all Republicans? Was that all of us doing that?
The vast majority were Republicans.
How you know what the percentage was?
They were saying they have a flag with.
You don't know nothing.
Flag. They were saying.
Well, look, okay. All you guys do whenever we talk about what the left does all the time, this consistent pattern happens every day. You guys bring up a thing from many years ago. So bring up something that's a little bit more current. How about that?
But it's the same thing. The same.
I mean, look, I ain't talking about things y'all did back in the day. I'm talking about things happening right now. I ain't talking about Freddie Gray and Michael Brown and BLM and 22. I'm talking about which I did right now today, like yesterday or this morning. I ain't talking about things from 5-10 years ago. Be current.
ABL.
Yes.
ABL.
Yes.
What BLM have to do with the Democrats?
You're not listening because you just talk too much. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. What I said was I'm not bringing up old things that you guys were involved with. Don't tell me that it wasn't nobody on the left involved with the BLM riots because you'd be a liar. I'm talking about things that are happening right now. You're talking about things that happened many years ago. What has happened recently? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, we know the left has problems. Not all you guys are going to be out there doing what this person did, but your rhetoric, the things you say, the way you characterize us emboldens these crazy people to go out there and do what they did. That's why it's important to say that they were on the left. But go ahead.
But give me the example of the rhetoric. I mean, I don't hear any politician saying talking about rhetoric.
ICE are Nazis, kidnapping people. That's what y'all say.
They are kidnapping people. They are kidnapping people.
There we go. You proving my point. Thank you.
But that's the truth.
Okay. All right.
If somebody grab you and put you in a van and a car without reading your Miranda rights, doesn't tell you what to be in charge.
But look. I don't even really. You can say all that. It don't even matter. Like we're not going to agree on that. You're saying exactly what I'm talking about, which is the rhetoric of they're Nazis and they're kidnapping people, all this, that, and the third. Gavin Newsom's talking about, why are you guys trying to hide, take your mask off, knowing full well there's a bunch of threats against the ICE agents who are just doing their job, who are doing, we want them to do that. We voted the Republicans in so they could do that. They're doing their job and they're being threatened. People like Gavin Newsom say unmask them to make them be more dangerous in a place like California, to make them be less safe in California.
No,
But look, at the end of the day, if you were talking during the whole time, I didn't hear a word and nobody heard you. So I'll give you 30 more seconds to wrap it on up, put the bow on top. Go ahead.
So
I'll give 30 seconds, wrap it up, put the bow on top. Go ahead.
Okay. So Obama deported more illegal immigrants than Trump. By the first year, Obama deported over 1 million. We didn't use any of these crazy tactics that he's using. We didn't take people, didn't raise their rights.
Okay, so how did he do it? Excuse me, you got 30 seconds, so you don't got no more time. So quickly, how did he go about it? What was his method? How did he how was he able to find all these people and then deport them without incident?
Okay. First, he went to the prison system, those who have pending cases, those who were leaving prison. Took them out and deported.
But look, we don't got no more time, so speed it up. You got 15 seconds. Speed it up.
The second thing, he went to the job location. He didn't stop it in the streets and profile them by the way they look.
So was that it? So all he did was just go to prisons and then go to their jobs. That was it?
To the jobs. That's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Because you profile them in the street, you don't know it's an...
All right, but that's pretty much all I got for you. Have a nice day. All right, we don't got all day. Okay, let's go to the next call here. And by the way, Trump did all those same things, going to the job site, going to the prisons, where they about to get, and we've seen, like, the thing about it is Obama did not get so much backlash. That's why there wasn't so much stuff happening, because Trump did the exact same thing as far as going to where they were about to get locked up and then intercepting them. But we've had incidents where people let the guy out the back door, try to put up a big fuss in the courtroom. We've had that happen. There wasn't so many incidents of people trying to block Obama from deportations the way it is with Trump because of the rhetoric from the left. Again, 443, you don't lie. Who am I speaking to?
This is George.
All righty, what's happening?
Wow, I've been watching you for years, and I'd like to say you're doing a great job. I've been watching you for like 2015, 16, somewhere in there. But oh man, so many topics. I think Jimmy Kimmel, I don't know why the people got mad at him for him losing his job. Well, not mad at him, mad at everybody else because he lost his job, because they never gave you real facts on his show. So I'm stumped now.
Hey man, but I'm with you on Jimmy Kimmel though, because the reason why they got mad is because Jimmy Kimmel represented somebody that was against Trump, and he was their friend in that battle. That's all that this was. It wasn't nothing else to it, because really he deserved what he got, because he went way over the line with the Charlie Kirk stuff, and people didn't like it. People that were watching this show didn't like it, and they voiced their opinion. So that's what that was.
But the funny thing is, I think some of his bosses didn't even like it, because some of his bosses, they actually like Trump.
Oh, of course.
But they like their money too first. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I didn't want to go to Dr. Fauci, but that guy, okay, when I was young, I was like 15 to 16 years old. My mother had HIV. She died from it too. Matter of fact, the year that he made this video. So there's a video on YouTube that I had to watch when I was a kid. And when the first sentence he started off with was, I created HIV to get homosexuals out the military. That's the first line that shows up in the video when you go to watch because he's actually lecturing like a college. I mean, it's just, but they all doctors in the auditorium. So he's giving them a lecture, and that's literally what he started off with. So when COVID came out, I had to the video popped back up because he was all prominent. They wanted to put him, on the TV and everything. And I had my brother watch it. For years, they thought I was lying. I'm 10 years older than you. I'll be 52 this year. And he thought I was lying for years until we had COVID, and he had to sit there and watch this video. Hey, watch this video, because this man killed our mama, right? So, I mean, I don't know. I'll let somebody else call in, and thank you for answering my call, sir.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
I'll call back in another time, because I literally just updated your phone number. That's why I was never getting through.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've been doing this for years. I've been trying to call you for years. I only got through one time, and I think I cussed, and you had to cut me off. No, I'm fine with that. But, yeah, thank you, and I hope you enjoy your birthday. Mine is coming up the 30th, and I'll eat some cake for you.
Right on, man. Enjoy your day. Thank you for your call.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now. All right, great call. Shout out to the caller. Let's go to unknown caller on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, yeah, this is Robert.
All right, man. What's going on?
Nothing much. I don't know. I was just listening to Ivan or Alvin or whatever his name is, and what he's saying is just straight crazy. Like I was watching. I can't really watch your show like during Wednesday because I got class from 7 to 9 o'clock. But before I went to class, I ended up watching the 5, and like Greg Gutfeld had to go off on Jessica Turloff again for the same thing like right after Charlie Kirk got assassinated, because she's always talking about this whataboutism, and it's both sides, but it's not both sides. And that's the thing that the one guy couldn't actually, articulate, because even if you talk about January 6th, who got killed during January 6th? Ashley Bobbitt, who was killed by one of the Capitol Police officers. Nobody had guns, so it wasn't no insurrection. You can't have an insurrection by tossing papers around. So it's funny that he wanted to bring up that, but he don't want to bring up the Summer of Love that killed dozens of people, or any of those other events that happened before January 6th. Because literally for almost a year and a half, there was over, I don't know how many riots, but there was almost $1 billion in damage, and at least over 20 people that got killed during those riots.
Exactly right. And it's crazy that that's not really a thing. It's not really mentioned. Don't nobody really care about that, because it was the left doing it. So whatever the left does, they want to cover up. Now, if it's anything where they think the right were involved, even if it wasn't all the way yes, it doesn't matter. They're going to just keep harping on that because that's their narrative. They want to push that about the right being violent. But if they were honest and spoke about everybody and all their violence, what you would see is that the left are overwhelmingly violent, and it's not even close.
Yeah, and it's just like some of these politicians, like AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Maxine Waters. Like, Maxine Waters literally got on TV a few times and told people to go and literally get in people's faces and push back and tell them they're not welcome. Like, if you are a congressperson, you telling people to do stuff like that, I think you should be not only censored, but you should probably be impeached, because you're calling for acts of violence.
I agree with you 100%. And that shouldn't be what someone does if they're an elected official. A regular person shouldn't do it, but if you're in office, you most certainly shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. And them calling for the guys to take the mask off. I mean, it's like you want the federal agents to take their mask off, but you don't want none of these Antifa, BLM, crazy leftists, and all these other people to take their mask off. Why you didn't create a bill for all of that?
Exactly. That would have made sense.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Yeah, that's a good question. Look, we're talking about unmasking people. Why not unmask the Antifa, or we call them the Trantifa? Why not unmask them? Why you want to target the ICE agents? You see, you're trying to put a target on their back. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Theo, how's it going? How you doing, buddy? Working as usual, you know how life is. I was listening to the show, man. I just wanted to call in and say, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, everything's all good, man. How about yourself? Everything good?
Oh, fantastic, man. Still working as usual, working out, losing weight, trying to get in shape, and have some good news. Somebody might want me for a personal trainer, which is weird because I never had somebody ask that, which is off. Which, I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, thanks to you, ABL, and other people out there, urged me to lose weight. Makes me happy. Makes me live better, you know?
Right on, man. You know? And you never know how good you feel until you really start to lose weight, start to eat better. You feel better. You look better. It's just overall a better life experience.
I made a comment. I think I made a super chat a long time ago. I debated Charlie Kirk a long time ago, and I got aggravated during the debate. And I wasn't aggravated with him. It was somebody interrupting me, and I just got aggravated. Of course, I threw the mic. This was like a long time ago. And, of course, unfortunately, rest in peace, Charlie. He passed away, and I can't get that debate again. So, if you mind, would you like to have Change My Mind segment? And, of course, I know we have opposing opinions on some things. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, definitely. Okay, on the position on abortion, what's your position?
I am pro-life.
Same thing with Charlie. I'm very much pro-choice, but I'm not like the liberal pro-choice. I'm not the type that was, hey, let's have it like 8 months in, and we're just going to get rid of it. I'm not necessarily agreeing with that. I think there should be some regulations, but personally, I the whole argument of pro-life, pro-choice, how pro-life is you can be is, are you against birth control? What's your position on birth control?
Well, I don't think birth control is a thing that you have to be against, because it also depends on what you mean by birth control, because some have a broad definition of what birth control, because to me, birth control is the pill you take to prevent pregnancy, and also contraception, like condoms. That's also birth control. I don't think the morning after pill or an abortion is birth control, although some would think that it is birth control. I wouldn't include that as part of that.
It's a bit of a broad spectrum, and I try to debate him on that, and then having some commie kind of interrupt me, kind of aggravate. But yeah. I mean, like I said, I would like my whole position is I don't agree with the right on position. I think there should be more choices on it. I mean, granted, there should be some regulations, absolutely. I don't want people, having a major hysterectomy after a procedure like that. And I think when government involves anything, it just makes everything a lot worse. Like any restrictions of any kind of medical reasons, and I think healthcare involved with government does not work for me, regardless if it's a procedure like that or. And I get the point of the conservatives. They view it more as a life compared to as a procedure. And also, you have to realize, a certain trimester, you got to look at the difference between a couple of cells or something forming. So there has to be between a middle,
Okay, I'm asking you a question. If someone knew you were pregnant, let's say, okay, you got a pregnant woman, and someone knows this person is pregnant. They're maybe. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you a question. Hold on, before I ask that question, I got you another question. At what point would you say there should be a cutoff when there should be no more abortions? What point of the pregnancy? 3 months, 4 months, 5 months?
I think whatever, if infant can't feel pain or have symptoms or something like that. And some people may disagree with me on that, but I think more humanely, if we treat animals of no pain, same thing with a situation like that. It depends on circumstances, because I think some circumstances it's a bit questionable, even though rarity stuff like that, like incest or rape, rarely happens, but it still happens.
Okay, but the thing about it is, if you're going to make that be a law, you have to be able to say with certain specificity what is a cutoff, because you can't just say whenever. That's you can't go to court with that. So what would be the cutoff?
I think what the cutoff is when the fetus doesn't feel pain.
You can't do that. You can't just say, if you're going to have a law that you put on the books, you can't just say the cutoff is whenever the fetus don't feel pain. That don't. You got to say a certain specific time for the law.
And that's understandable. Well, there's a certain trimester that does that, and as well. I mean, you probably did more research than me on this.
I'm saying, okay. So here's my point, though. I'm gonna get to the point. I don't want to try to trick you up. My point is that there must be a certain cutoff, because what if a person knows a woman is pregnant? Let's say she's 3.5. Let's say she's 4 months pregnant. A guy knows she's pregnant and he kills her with the intent of killing her and the baby. So is he charged with double homicide or just one murder?
Oh, that's double homicide, but at the exact same time, you also got to think into account. But a difference between a murder and a medical procedure to basically get rid of something that, granted, morally most people would disagree with. I understand. But also, there's also a certain trimester, and there's also certain implications.
If the baby is a baby, then the baby is a baby. So a medical procedure would be something like the baby has died in the womb, and and now the baby is being extracted because baby's already deceased. But the baby is living, baby is developing in the womb, and someone kills the mother and the baby. That's 2 homicides. So if it's 2 homicides, so wait a minute, let me finish. If it's 2 homicides when that happens, then there also must be a homicide when there's an abortion.
Well, there's a difference between a malicious murder and the procedure.
No, because it's the same thing. It's the same thing, because at the end of the day, you killed another person. So what's the excuse to kill the baby? You can't just say it's convenience. You can't just say it will only be a medical procedure if the baby had already died. But if the baby is developing, there's no reason to kill the baby other than convenience. Therefore, if
Well,
you if, wait. Therefore,
Okay,
therefore, if you say, because you said it, if you say that killing the baby, gunshot, that's murder, it must also be murder when the baby is killed a different way.
Well, it depends on like I said, it's the circumstances and also the medical reasons as well. Because sometimes the mother can't take birth to the baby because the mother would die in certain circumstances. And also, you got to put into account. I mean, different circumstances have different subjects. If you have one law in, like I give you an example. I know you probably won't like this example, but what happened if they bring a gun law in unexpectedly that was involving like a gun grip, and that's a big deal. And that's the thing is also, you look at other circumstances, like I said, incest, rape, also disease. There's also clear indication for that, and you just can't just write a law in and expecting everybody to just follow it by case, And granted, I agree with you. I mean, it is murder. I think it's horrifying, but there's also circumstances when the baby can't survive or the mother can't survive.
Like I said, if the baby's dead in the womb, that's not the same thing as I'm inconvenienced now. I want to kill the baby because that's 99.9% of abortions is that.
I get your point. I mean, I won't exactly say 99, but yeah, I agree with you. There's some people out there who would do stuff like that. I appreciate the phone call, ABL, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the debate. Hopefully this time I didn't have some commie just interrupt me right in the middle of the argument. And, of course, I was trying to make the argument with Charlie saying that I think capitalism would fix the problem, but free market. But, hey, thank you very much for the phone call, and it's raining pretty bad outside, so I got to go. I appreciate it, ABL. Enjoy the show, buddy.
Thanks for the call, man. Be safe.
Hey, no problem, man. Hey, I'll talk to you guys later. 420 all the way. See ya.
All right, great call. Shout out to my man for the call. Let's go to the next one here. Let's go. You're not speaking to 917.
Hi, ABL. It's Corinne from NYC.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to comment. There was a gentleman caller. I think it was your second caller. He was just talking about maybe we should have sympathy and not push for the death penalty for the assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's very sweet where he's coming from, that's a very sweet take, but in situations like this, I don't think we should think this way. I think we should just think logically and look at the crime and not be sitting in a courtroom as a jury member or thinking about, his grandmama can't call him anymore, thinking about grandma and her grandbaby and somebody's father and mother not being able to call them. The crime is, if it's a heinous crime, like there's a lot of crazy serial rapists, they all have family members, these crazy people. They have mothers and family members that love and adore them, but I'm sorry, I'm not thinking about those poor family members. They're, of that crazy person that committed these heinous crimes. I want them gone. They don't belong here after you commit heinous crimes like that. This is just logic. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I really do, because you got some really crazy people out there commit heinous acts, and they must be held accountable.
100%. And it's not to say that's taking away my humanity. I feel for those family members of these serial murderers and rapists and somebody that just wants to shoot somebody in the head, in the throat. I feel for the family, but that is not gonna, my logic is still clear there. I'm so sorry that your family member was lost and, went astray, but I'm not thinking about how you should be able to say hello to him. And no, I'm so sorry. No.
I agree with you 100%.
And also, I just want to say it is important that we keep pointing out that the assassin or these people that do these crazy crimes recently in the month of September recently are leftist. It is important to say that. You know what I love? I love that after this whole thing, it's still hard to say. I can't even believe it because I've listened to his podcast every single day for 5 years. Charlie Kirk's assassination. What do we do on the right? Are we burning down Wendy's, ABL?
Not at all. We're doing praise, worship. We're doing the right things.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Are we running around talking about mostly peaceful with the fire in the back, acting crazy? When when in 2020 near Barclays Center, I have a job, so I don't know what these people were doing. Most of them didn't even seem like they were from New York. I did ask one guy, what neighborhood is this? He couldn't tell me. You can't tell me what neighborhood this is. Where are you from? They were coming into this area from I don't know where, destroying everything. So I remember that time seeing a lot of out-of-state license plates from weird states, because you get everybody from different places in New York City, but it was like different. I'm like, huh? Where are these people coming from? They were running around crazy. I saw people throw things onto oncoming traffic, acting crazy. That's what they do. It's important to say there's a difference, stark contrast. George Floyd, died, and then people went crazy, protesting every day like they have no life, nowhere to go, but sit around on the street, causing chaos, throwing things onto oncoming traffic. And what are we doing? Charlie, it hurts me that he's not here anymore, and I feel for his family, but there is nobody I know that supported Charlie is trying to organize crazy marches quote unquote marches, where we're burning things, throwing things around, screaming at cops. We're not doing that. We're just having beautiful, peaceful vigils, telling people we forgive. Erica Kirk said she forgives. Yes, that's what we do. There's a difference.
100% correct. Absolutely.
So, yeah, people shouldn't be getting it twisted, talking about turn down the rhetoric. Do you see people trying to burn stuff down? No, we're just praying and singing church songs and, reciting Bible quotes, having beautiful vigils, talking about how we just love this man so much and remembering his wife and family and praying. That's it. We don't do what they do. There's a difference.
100% correct. Absolutely.
All right, Charlie, Charlie, I'm sorry. So you have a good night, ABL. This is still a little hard to take. It's every day I'm going through the feed and I'm seeing like more information about Charlie. It's a little annoying. Different YouTubers, I don't know if they're just doing it for clicks. It's like, oh, I went to this, Charlie, I watched this. My thoughts on Charlie is somebody who's not connected to him at all. But it's just hard for everyone that has been listening to him, and I'm sure for you too. You did meet him. I had planned to go to AmFest soon, and I was hoping to meet him and his family. So it's really hard, but it's getting better every day, and I pray for his family. But thank you for your show, ABL, and you have a good night.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, great call. And that is a great way to end the show. If you cannot get on tonight, I am sorry. It's not my fault. You got to blame the white man. But I'll be back. Listen, I'll be back live on the YouTubes Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm on the Instagrams. Again, shout out to you guys who were on Instagram last night. I appreciate y'all for joining. But I'm on Instagram from 9 p.m. to about 10, 10:30, 11, whenever I decide I'm ready to go to bed. But I'm also always here throughout the week putting up pre-recorded content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You might even see an occasional TikTok post, although I don't like them too much. But that will be your wrap for me. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you do. I could not do the show without you. Thank you to the moms for keeping the trolls in check and also listening to an audio streaming podcast. It'll be available in your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description or Visit your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All right. I think I got one more super chat here. I'll read that right quick. To wrap it on up, put the bone top. Thank you to the Forgotten Pittsburgher who said, Charlie said he was pro-death penalty before his passing. That's all I need to hear. Hey, there you go. There you go. What would Charlie want? Hey, what would Charlie do? WWCD, what would Charlie do? Okay, the dude that went ahead and took his life, hey, man, it's time to go. Y'all know me. I took him on out back, old yeller, and he be done. Christy know him. We might have to get hurt on a. Go ahead and take care of it and be done with it. So we don't cost taxpayer any more burden, any more financial. No more money should be given to this guy or spent on this guy. Do it and be done with it and move on. That's what I would do. But they might not do that. They got to be diplomatic and all that kind of stuff. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But y'all know what he deserves at the end of the day. Y'all know most certainly what he deserves. But I think that will be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.